Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio's Xbox Showcase Review. I am your co-host, Kiley Wild, and I'm joined by quite a few people on our Roundtable Discussion. We're joined by Rapid Reviews writer Shaun.
Hello.
And we're joined by James, who's been a previous guest.
Hello, welcome everyone.
Woohoo! And Lewis, who was actually probably our most recent previous guest.
Maybe. I don't know.
And, of course, my co-host, Pete.
Who's now part of the furniture. You can leave him till last.
I saved the best for last. When have you not figured that out?
Are you upset, Pete?
No, she's just full of crap, and I know it.
I am an American. I know how to smooze. So this is we're gonna keep to our same format, which is where I will call on someone and ask their opinions on how the showcase went. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's probably not gonna be as in depth as the PlayStation one, only because the Xbox one was quite straightforward in my opinion. So having said that, I will start us off with the quite broad question of, so what was your impression? And I will point that question at Shaun, and then we'll just all of us chime in. So, Shaun, what was your first impression?
So a word to describe it on the whole, I would go for mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose to preface it, I'm not a Sony fanboy, but I've never bought an Xbox before I bought a PlayStation.
Right.
So when I looked at the Sony event, I thought there's an opportunity for Xbox here. Starting a Sony event with GTA 5 was a downfall from the start. Halo was a very positive opening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could have been a very positive opening, but I'm sure once we get into that, I'll share my views on that. So yeah, mediocre is the word I'd go for.
Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and say that I actually mirror that. James, what about you? What was your initial impressions?
I'm considerably underwhelmed and remain underwhelmed. Slightly biased in the sense that I think as a Sony fanboy, for want of a better word, I think it would have to go some to match that. Although worth noting that even with Sony, I was potentially underwhelmed with that too. But
Right.
I think on review, it's just sort of bridged the gap between the two in terms of what I thought would be the heavy hitters and how they would compare with the Sony heavy hitters. I didn't quite think they kind of hit the mark with that.
Right. Again, I'm going to absolutely echo that. Pete, what about you? Initial impressions?
I'm going to have to agree with the panel here. Very underwhelming.
Absolutely. And then, Lewis, you want to throw your opinion in with the group?
I guess I was whelmed.
Right.
I was. I mean, I don't know if this is like they treated it beforehand as if it was gonna rock our socks off.
Yes.
But then afterwards, they were kind of like at the end of the show, they were like, "Oh, don't worry, there's gonna be another one." So this month. So I don't know what I really feel. I thought it was alright.
Isn't that exactly what they said last time after the previous one sort of died?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, don't worry, we got another one." But they keep talking about how much of a pain it is to make these shows. So why don't they just make one big one?
And
Then you only have to deal with the pain once.
Yeah, true. But then we've all got to sit in front of a computer or a laptop for like 3 hours, being very underwhelmed rather than 3 different attempts at an hour at a time.
Yeah, but then I just get the disappointment once.
True. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you
You
that.
don't have to relive it.
I don't have to go, "Oh, there's another one of these things."
Now you know how
Right.
it feels to be a Nintendo fan every time a Direct comes up.
Gosh. Yeah, I have to admit, I do not. Not that I'm not a Nintendo fan, I am, but I do not understand the Nintendo Directs. I
love them.
understand them. A lot of people do. We have people on the Rapid Review staff that absolutely set their watches by it and wait for it to drop.
Well, to be fair, the last Nintendo Direct Mini was 8 minutes long and it rivaled the Halo event. So.
Oh wow! I may have to check it out out then, just to know.
It even had one better announcement than Halo Infinite did, and that
Persona
was
3?
Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne.
Yeah, Shin Megami, not Persona. But I was like, oh my god, and then I kind of fell asleep a little bit. So.
Xbox showcase, guys.
Yeah, okay.
What? Oh, but I feel like there's more to talk about in the Nintendo Direct.
We may need to do one of those roundtable discussions.
We will at some point, just for the sake of fairness.
Yes,
if they do one good enough.
Exactly.
When we don't have to wait a year between main directs.
So yeah. So James, I'll point this next question towards you. So every single game that they showed off opened with world premiere video. Did you have any thoughts or feelings concerning that?
Well, not really. Only in a sense that if it was aimed directly at me and no one else was watching it globally, I would have felt a bit more privileged. But unfortunately,
yes, exactly. Exactly that.
Unfortunately, again, not quite. I mean, it was nice. It was nice to try and attempt to be kind of feel loved and wanted online. God knows I tried to do it elsewhere. But in terms of how we were kind of introduced and inducted and how they got the ball rolling, it was all right. It was okay, wasn't it? They kind of started big, but I think as we'll get into this, I think they kind of started big in what they thought would be some heavy hitters, as I mentioned, and then there was a slow decline as we moved on, I thought.
Yes, I have to agree, and we will be getting into that. But Pete, I'm going to ask you, because I actually watched this with you, and there is actually a reaction. I was going to say video, but that's not true. Reaction audio on our podcast feed. So Pete, what was your initial thoughts of seeing world previews before each game?
This definitely gave off the vibes of Xbox from the last couple of E3 presentations, where they were definitely stroking their own ego with the world premiere of everything, and let's just say it 60 times so everyone remembers that it's a world premiere. It's like really trying to drum home the fact that we've never seen this before. But it got really boring after the second one. It's like, surely they could have prefaced it at the beginning of the show that said, we're going to have X amount of world premieres here, and we don't have to keep saying it every time.
Yeah, you have to wonder. I kind of wondered if it was maybe because someone was going to break them up into individual trailers at some point for YouTube, but I personally found it annoying. Shaun, were you wowed by the world preview or world debut or whatever it was moniker before each video?
No, I completely agree. I think, like what Pete said, you could have put it at the beginning, but I wouldn't have even bothered doing that. We knew what the event was. And I just think it talks about stroking egos, and there has been a bit of that online on Twitter accounts and things. And I just think, we've also mentioned already about their big hitters. And I think the more I think about it, if I think about Sony, I think they've got big hitters that I'm definitely interested in, whereas Xbox, I'm not convinced they've got the same.
That actually kind of folds into the next question, which I'll point to Lewis, in addition to the world previews tag that went on everything. So another thing that they did was Microsoft kept saying how it was all exclusives. And they were. There's no dispute. They were exclusives. But in comparison to Sony's exclusives, what do you think about that exclusivity?
I definitely think they had a lot more interesting timed exclusives that they showed off. One of them's not on your list, Pete.
Oh, sorry.
I bet it's on mine.
I don't know. I don't know if this Crossfire X thing, obviously we'll talk about that, but that's one of their exclusives for the campaign because they're funding that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But then the multiplayer isn't exclusive because it's actually been around in China for about 10 years on PC.
Okay.
So,
know that. I know that.
And other games like Stalker 2 and the Warhammer game, I can't remember it because it's not on your list, Pete.
Warhammer
Dark Tide.
1000 Dark Tide. I know it's on my list.
Look,
Like those games are extremely like cool, kind of niche games, and like the Warhammer one especially is like it's like that co-op multiplayer that Xbox is known for, and I feel like having these exclusives, because they're not just exclusives, they're all going into Game Pass as well. So, which is, I guess, where their exclusivity deal is coming in. But having all of these exclusives is extremely exciting. But it would be more exciting if they actually showed off gameplay of what they were.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I can't get excited for a game that I like. Well, I can get excited for a couple of games if I've only seen a CG trailer. I can't get excited for 20 games if there's no gameplay for them.
I have to 100% agree. And James, that actually brings me to this question, which is, what were your thoughts on like Sony's reveal compared to Microsoft's reveal, which did tend to be more in less gameplay, more in game footage, but not gameplay. Like, who do you think won that little war?
I think Sony won that war, to be perfectly frank, and I think has been previously mentioned, but again also mentioned with the Sony reveal is that I think we all potentially walked away from both showcases going, we really want to, we've waited so long for this. Everyone's been a bit sort of battered with the lockdown. We wanted a little bit more kind of hands-on stuff, and again just sort of walked away going, there's not necessarily anything I didn't already know or predict, and stop sort of heavily hinting now. You need to get on it. And I think the problem with going second is that you're always going to be sort of compared to obviously the people who went first, and I think that's where the problem is in my eyes anyway, with there being a bit of a gap that they didn't sort of reach the same levels of Sony, whereas actually what you'd want from a Microsoft perspective is you'd want to kind of overpass them as well, and surpass them, I should say. But they didn't do that either, I don't think. It was heavily hinted at, but they didn't really get stuck into it. And if there's going to be a few more kind of, more trailers and more reveals and proper gameplay footage, that's great. But then you're hoping that all of your audience have got the invested time and interest still to go and watch the second part or the third part to these things, which is a bit of a risk, I think.
Well, weirdly enough, even though Xbox only really showed gameplay for one game, they showed more gameplay than Sony did.
That's true.
Which is really weird.
Okay, yes.
They showed 8 minutes of gameplay. I think Sony showed about 4.
They did.
No, actually, I forgot about Gran Turismo. They showed 6. 6 minutes.
And that kind of we're going to go ahead and probably move on to games for a little bit, because I think a lot of these questions are starting to point towards individual games. So Shaun, do you like racing games? Is that something that you're kind of into? Because I kind of want to talk about the comparison between Forza and Gran Turismo. So
yeah, definitely. I'm a huge fan, definitely, of the early Gran Turismos.
Absolutely.
I think maybe Gran Turismo 4 lost me.
What? That's the best one.
No, sorry.
I would say 3 was the best one.
But to be fair, I think Gran Turismo and Forza as well for this, both of them highlight to me what I have an underlying feeling that I just don't need the next gen yet. And that is a bit of a bold statement, I'm sure, but I look at those two games and think I've played them. I played them 10 years ago. They might look a bit better, although Forza only showed the smallest little bit of going around a track. But I don't know. I'm missing something, particularly with the driving games. Gran Turismo is not a system seller for me anymore. And if that's the they showed 2 minutes of footage in their show. And it's just not for me. And I think Forza has the potential to go the same way. Although if it was Horizon, I think I'd have got a lot more excited about it.
Actually, if I remember correctly, Pete, you kind of said something very similar during the actual watching of Forza Motorsport. You were surprised that they called it Forza Motorsport.
At the time, yes, I was, but I've been thinking about this a lot since the showcase, and I actually think, along with like Halo Infinite, this is a platform that they're going to keep building upon over the course of years. So this will probably incorporate the Horizon stuff as well as the.
Oh, I don't think that'll happen.
No, what I
Right.
mean is by the updating of certain game modes. So they'll have, they'll have like your track racer sort of, simulation racing, and then they'll have like an update like a couple of years later that goes, oh, we've included rally racing or something along those lines.
I believe, what we thought was Forza 8 beforehand, they have said that their new driving physics engine does support rallying.
Okay.
So this was like a year ago that they were talking about Forza 8.
And the thing is, what makes me feel that is probably what they're going to do is the fact that now Playground are not working on Horizon, they're working on another game that's going to come later on in the showcase, obviously.
Playground is split in two.
Mm-hmm.
They have two studios.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah.
That's fair
No,
enough.
all of Microsoft Studios have massive teams. Apart from like Ninja Theory and Double Fine. But like 343 has like 500 employees. Turn 10 has like 300 employees.
Jesus.
That's wild.
Yeah, 500 employees, right?
Well,
you'd expect a little more.
I was gonna say, that's exactly what I was about to ask you, Lewis. Like, do you think that, Microsoft has the capabilities of employing extremely talented, numerous amounts of people. Do you think that their output that they showed off reflects that, as opposed to Sony, who is getting more third-party people on board?
Well, when it comes to Microsoft now, they're just trying to buy all the third-party teams.
Yes, yes, they are. Absolutely.
And quite a few of them are probably having, they're having to transition into a new work environment while also having to transition straight from that work environment to working at home. Right. And I do know for a fact that 343 have definitely seen massive issues moving from their studio to working from home.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to affect what we see when Halo Infinite launches in November.
Yes. It's really soon.
I mean holiday, but
yeah, holiday. Yeah, that's so oblique.
It's holiday. Definitely
holiday?
Not November 13th.
Oh god. And see, traditionally, I didn't want to get on Halo just yet, but traditionally Halo is released in September. So
No.
Oh no, okay.
Halo 1 is November 11th.
Really?
2001.
Yeah, because it launched with the console, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh yes, it did. It did.
I feel like quite a lot of Halo games are November.
I thought the last few were definitely September, though.
Halo 4, was November.
Okay.
Halo 2 was as well.
Yep.
Really? So it was just Halo 3 that was September? And then I just labeled everything as being released in September.
Halo 5 was October, but,
No one cares about that.
We're talking about real Halo games.
All right. Since we're already on the subject, let's go ahead and talk about Halo. I'm going to go with James first. So what is your experience with Halo, and does the new gameplay make you want to jump back on board or come anywhere near Halo?
Well, I played them all when they came out originally.
Excellent.
And I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were great. I never quite fell in love with them as much as I fell in love with, say, I don't know, Fallout or what, Bugsnax, obviously, Game of the Year. But I didn't quite have the emotional content with it, but I really liked what they were doing at the time, way back when, and what have you. What's interesting is that during lockdown, I sort of made use of the Game Pass and sort of battered that and started going through all of the original Halo games again from scratch.
Right.
And the nostalgia level wasn't quite there, and it's fantastic to kind of see, hear the music again and sort of get back into those worlds. But then, having recently put that down a couple of weeks back, and then you see the new footage. I sat there thinking, ooh, it's not quite the jump I thought. And it was, as I say, I was playing the remastered versions recently, but I was expecting a little bit more. And again, you kind of forget GTA, which is going to be, as I said before, that's going to be on every new console for the next 30 years. When PlayStation properly got involved with, say, the Spider-Man footage and then finished with Horizon, sorry. You thought, okay, that's great. That's what I get now. Whether you're a fan of the game or not, you understand what you were putting a lot of money into. Whereas if this is what you're opening with, or this is what you're investing and sort of doubling down on, then again you kind of think, oh, I don't know, I think you've missed the mark here. If you're a huge Halo fan, then you've got your emotional buy-in anyway. They could have put any old rubbish out. And in many ways, they did.
I said that. I think I said that on the reaction. Something very
Yes, you
similar.
did. You said, if it's bad, I'm still going to buy it.
They could have
I remember having that sentiment. So.
I believe the exact phrase was, I don't even care.
They could have put a Halo sort of cardboard cutout out of Master Chief and sort of just get him prattling about, and you would have gone for it. Yeah, sure.
Yes,
but
Minecraft Halo, and I still would have went after it. But anyway,
well, I just thought if you're new to Halo, but you're aware of it because you're a gamer, are you going to want to plow into that? Are you going to? Is that enough to get you a buy-in? I don't think it is, because again, I don't think you're going to want to spend 400, 500, 600 quid, however much it's going to be.
Right.
If that's the thing, right? And all right, they had sort of grappling hooks and jetpacks, and the problem was it sort of felt like, for me anyway, it felt like I was just watching, I don't know, what can I pick? Let's say Overwatch. So it felt like an imitation of Overwatch in some degree, not all of it.
No, you're talking strictly about the multiplayer then, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you know, I think that will be. That's always good, and what I've really enjoyed with the Game Pass is the multiplayer still sort of has value to it, and it's still fun in Halo. Okay, that there's still sort of various different kind of processes you can go to that, and then, as I say, I think that's worthwhile. But for me, I just kind of go, yeah, I'm all right with Halo through the Game Pass stuff. It's okay. I can't see a massive jump. Again, for me, this was a win for PlayStation, which, if that was a take by lots of people, then they've got serious PR stuff to do, I think.
That's a very interesting perspective. Shaun, kind of the same thing for you. Well, first and foremost, are you a Halo fan? And would this bring you on board?
Yeah, I'm particularly the first one. It was great to see, it looked to me like it had gone back to its roots a little bit. Definitely had a lot of appeal. I think, as just what James has said then, it's appealing to people who I think would have already bought in anyway. So
right.
I'm not convinced it's going to drag new people in and go, oh, I want to buy an Xbox to get Halo, when it looked similar to what we'd already seen. I thought it was going to be a massive win when I saw, they started with it. I'd mentioned in my predictions that, either Xbox were going to take the mick out of Sony and do something silly at the start, or they were going to come out swinging. And I thought they were coming out swinging, but then I saw the gameplay and I just wasn't convinced. It looks fantastic, but
swing and a miss.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If it was a song, it would be "Sugar We're Going Down" swinging.
Very good.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Pete, I'm going to pass the question to you because I have a feeling that Lewis and I are going to discuss this at length.
Yep.
Pete, so what do you think? You've played Halo, but it's not your Street Fighter, you're that type, that's your fighting games is your thing. But did this?
He's played Dead or Alive 4.
Yes, and
Halo experience.
And actually, Spartan was one of my mains.
Yeah, exactly.
She's badass.
She was. To be fair.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there. Future cosplay ideas. So, Pete, what was your do you think you'll be jumping on board as a fan? I mean, I know that it's going to be available via Game Pass, but purely as a fan.
Well, you already stole my thunder, because that was essentially what I was going to say, was because it's already on Game Pass. I don't need to buy into it. It's there already. So I'll try it out because I already pay for the service. But I wasn't blown away by this. At first, I was. And then going back and rewatching it, I noticed a lot of imperfections, a lot of how sluggish it looked. And aesthetically, it wasn't as pleasing as I thought it was going to be. But visuals don't make everything in a game. It's about how it plays, and it does look like it plays well. So I'll hold off until I'm actually able to have it in my hands. But I felt this was very underwhelming to start with.
Very, very interesting perspective. Absolutely. Lewis, what about Craig?
Well, you see, looking at... So, my exact reactions to seeing Craig are actually recorded.
Oh, amazing!
MS User Gamescast.
Oh gosh.
Yep, we were talking about Halo. We were talking about how like it looks like a great game, and then at the end of the podcast, we got sent some pictures of Halo Infinite, and I do want to. So Microsoft's messaging on this game in particular utterly killed. What they showed off. Microsoft have been touting this game as the start of the next generation, when in reality this game has been built from the ground up as an Xbox One game. This is not like this isn't a next gen game. This is a current gen game on this generation's weakest hardware.
Oh gosh, that's a good point.
Second weakest, I guess, because there's the Switch.
Well, yeah.
But, vastly inferior hardware to other consoles that are out, including Microsoft's own. And then they've gone, okay, 343, this is going to be our flagship product for next gen as well. And I imagine they've all bricked themselves.
Well, they kind of have already, because they've already confirmed that a ray tracing patch is coming later down the line.
Yeah, and I was looking at so what I like to do when I watch these game reveals is I like to look at them and go, oh look, I see some ray tracing, and I point that out to my girlfriend and she goes, I don't care. And I was watching it, I was like, this looks like the lighting isn't working right. There's no ambient occlusion, like making things look as if they're like grounded.
Right.
Like the enemies, like they stand out in a way that looks wrong, and I don't think they cast any shadows either. They're definitely not casting dynamic shadows.
I was gonna say in the gameplay they didn't, but I actually saw that.
It looks like in old 3D platformers, where their shadow is just a little blob underneath them.
I was going to say, as someone who likes to go up in the ranks of the multiplayer system, I was kind of glad for that, because maybe that means that everyone will be standing out and I can get several headshots in.
Yeah, but then like great for multiplayer, but this isn't multiplayer.
No, it's not. Right.
And this is a game that's built to run at 4K 60 on Xbox One X. So it's 4K 60 last gen, and I don't see any enhancements for next gen, because draw distance wasn't great. There was things popping in. There was grass popping out right next to you. What else was there? The texture, like the level of detail settings, are really bad. They're really low. And it's just like, for some reason, the pilot at the start, he looks fantastic. He's got like little he's got like little bits of beard hair, like that are like tiny and extremely detailed. And my co-host Alex on the Gamescast, he was like, the oil on his face, when the oil splashed on his face, he was like, that was great looking oil. I was like, thanks, Alex. Really paying attention.
Yeah, there was incredible detail in that model, and then you get Craig.
Yeah, well, not only Craig. The more I look at Craig, the more I love Craig.
Yeah.
But he does need some hair. The brutes can't be bald.
Yes.
Stop this.
Yes.
And they need teeth. They need teeth. He doesn't have any teeth. He's like the old boomers that sit at the local pub just complaining about everything. But like the big banished guy, Escharum. He has a fantastic speech at the end that is like accompanied by beautiful music. But he looks like he's made of Play-Doh. It's like the top of his face looks great. There's so much detail there. And as soon as you get below his nose, there's nothing. There's no like surface scattering. Like there's no like detail to the bottom half of his face, and the teeth look awful.
I thought the teeth looked cool.
I was gonna say there's
no, they look plastic. They look like Haribo milk bottles. You'll have to timestamp that.
Yep, I got that one, don't worry.
But other than that, I thought the gameplay looked great. Right. I'm excited to play it, but it doesn't look very nice.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you kind of go, if this was some work experience kids and this is their first project, then wicked, well done. But it wasn't. Absolutely nothing like that. And you kind of go, do you want, I think it was Pete who said, do you want this which you've already kind of got through the Game Pass system, or are you going to go, and it's almost as if you're going to spend, do you want to spend money on the PS5 for arguably access to less games, but inverted commas, better games? Or do you want more through the Game Pass and various systems like this and all the sort of various other things that are coming out, and you just kind of have a sort of pick and mix approach with some of these will be good, some of these less so, but it is what it is. It was I just kind of felt weird with the whole thing.
The worst part with Halo Infinite is that they've created an open world game that has to run at a decent resolution and 60 FPS on base Xbox One. And that's been their target. Open world, 60 FPS, base Xbox One.
Good luck with the 60 FPS on the base Xbox One, the VCR.
Well, that's why when they announced that this was a cross-gen game, I was expecting it to look fantastic on Xbox Series X, and I was so excited to see how bad it was going to be on base Xbox One. But I didn't realize that they would just take that base Xbox One version and just make that the version that everyone's getting. But then,
they would have been better holding off on this, I think.
Yeah.
They would have built up more anticipation and got things. They would have had longer, bought themselves some time. I understand there's pandemics and various other things going on in the world. But I wonder if everyone was anticipating it in the huge build up to this in the weeks and months before it, but then they still held off or just did a 30-second teaser trailer, which seems to be what most conferences are these days and showcases.
Right.
It's they almost would have done better with that, I think.
And there's a Digital Foundry video about this that came out, and they talk about why the lighting is so flat, and they talk about how the demo that they've shown, because this entire world has dynamic global illumination, so it's all dynamic lighting, and the entire demo takes place in like a basin that blocks all the dynamic lighting from taking any effect on the environment around it. So,
that's a very good point.
They literally chose the worst place to show this base Xbox One game that they have put in 4K.
That would happen to be another questionable decision by 343 then.
Yeah.
They've made quite a few in terms of Halo.
This build is not as old as people are saying it is.
Oh, they were trying to claim
4 weeks old.
Yeah, they were trying to claim it was like beginning of January or something like that originally, weren't they?
Yeah, but then Halo has always had issues in development. There is not a single Halo game that has like the Halo 3 beta didn't look very good.
Yep. Even the original, they cut that down to like.
Well, the original game was made in 5 months. It's like 5 years of like pre-production, and then they went,
my gosh,
we've actually got to make the game for November.
Yeah, because they had they showed off the demo at E3, and it was beautiful, and then they were like, oh, we need a game though. Game. Yeah, exactly.
And also like Microsoft's first party games, they've always like Gears 4. They had a multiplayer beta, didn't look very good. Looked great when it came out. Gears 5 previews were extremely rough. I remember playing, I think like a little. We played Horde mode at a press event, and they were like, "Campaign is not ready to play," and I was like, "What do you mean? The game's out in 2 months." They were like, "It's not ready." Gears 5 came out. It looked great and it played great. So maybe, I have some faith. Like 343, the one thing that they've definitely done is made good-looking Halo games. But I think we'll have a good-looking Halo game a couple of months after launch.
Yeah, I worry about the actual content within the game at launch as well.
That's
apparently Forge is launching. With
that's a
Forge
change.
multiplayer, and it is a change. Well, no, it's not a change really. Only Halo 5 did launch with Forge.
Only Halo 5, yes.
But it's going to have multiplayer, which is running at 120 frames per second on next gen.
Yes.
I don't have a 120 frames per second monitor, so I won't be playing it at 120 frames per second. But it's nice for the people who will. But they'll have campaign multiplayer Forge at launch, which is a lot of work for one game.
It is.
Yeah.
And I imagine this game, multiplayer has probably been ready for quite a long time, and the campaign has been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I can totally agree with that.
Which is how every Halo game has gone after Halo 1. So.
Yes. Yes. There was a time where I think it was. No, I guess it was really Halo Reach more than anything, where it was like the fan girls and boys were like, or the fan people were like, we want a game, and then they came out with the multiplayer. It was very, very, very centered on the multiplayer more than anything, which was slightly a disappointment.
Remember when Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary came out? They were like, we're remastering the multiplayer. What they actually did was give you 3 maps of Halo 1 remade in Halo Reach.
That's it. That's all that. Yes. Oh gosh. Okay.
At least we're not getting that. Can you imagine Halo Infinite? Here's your campaign. By the way, all the multiplayers in Halo 5.
With some of the footage that came out in the images, I almost wondered if they were just taking the updated Halo CE and just giving us those maps for a while there, because they remastered CE and it's beautiful, but I already own it. I don't want to play it again. But okay, so enough.
I thought Halo Infinite looked okay.
Okay.
It looked like it plays really good, but also, the particle effects are very nice. That's a positive I can say. The explosions look sick.
They do look good.
They finally look like the descriptions of how plasma weapons actually work. So,
there you go.
Big, wet, burning stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, no one ever gets that right. But I will go on record and say that regardless, I am a diehard fangirl. I am very excited for its release.
No surprises.
That'll put aside our Halo talk, which I'm sure it will crop back up. But
it always does.
If I'm sad enough.
Yeah.
I'm still livid.
We'll move on to a few of these other games, and we'll run through them relatively quickly. But okay, so Shaun, Avowed, which is the new one from Obsidian, which again I'm a fangirl of Obsidian. So, but it's the first-person RPG set in the fantasy world of Eora. So what did you think when you saw that?
Well, I mean, if I spend too long talking, then I'll have spoken for longer than we actually saw of it. So
that's a very good point, actually.
For me, there's a few on this list now as we go through. I got very little to say on it. I'm not sure. I've no doubt it's going to be good. I'm a fan of the work, but I just think if you're going to announce something like that, I suppose there's got a bit of hype around it now, but. In terms of the showcase, it didn't add very much for me at all.
If it helps, I do have a lot of details on the game that leaked after the showcase.
Oh, right.
So we could talk about that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Because that trailer didn't really show anything.
It didn't show much. It looked like, if I'm being very honest here, it looked like Obsidian's version of Skyrim. But
yes, well, that is what their brief is.
Yeah. Oh. I was going to say Skyrim on crack.
Yeah, so... much larger and denser world than Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Less bugs.
Maybe? No, not with Obsidian.
I was going to say Obsidian did birth the Bethesda bugs, if we're honest.
That's true.
Well, Fallout New Vegas, they were like, we need a month to fix these bugs, and they went, well, we could give you that.
Well, that was mainly Bethesda's
problem. That would mean you would get your bonus.
Exactly. Oh, gosh.
Planned release date of 2022, late 2022, early 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Here's the next gen stuff, because this is next gen only.
Right.
real-time weather that will interact with next-gen lighting, physics, and AI systems, as well as the in-depth magic system.
Ooh, nice.
Well, now let me be honest here. Real-time weather. If I'm not wrong, and I may be wrong, please correct me if I am, Dark Cloud on the PlayStation 2 had real-time weather.
Yes, but this will be real-time weather that doesn't look like a pixel.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
the mechanics are the same, but it will look beautiful.
I mean, Shenmue did it on the Dreamcast, and they made that accurate to when it actually happened in 1980s Japan.
They did that in Shenmue 3 as well.
Yeah.
That's true.
But China, not Japan.
China, sorry. Yeah,
No. Shenmue 1 is Japan. Shenmue 2 and 3 are China.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, really?
Shows my knowledge of Shenmue clearly.
I got a collector's edition of Shenmue 3 behind me.
Not a fan of Shenmue. That's my standpoint.
Not a huge fan of Shenmue 3.
Oh dear. Did you?
Let's have a look. Is apparently the story revolves around gods. Of course it does. It's a fantasy RPG. Anyone who's played Pillars of Eternity, you could fanboy Gil over this, but
yeah.
Let's have a look. You will explore the Living Lands region of Eora, whatever that means.
That must be part of the Pillars of Eternity then?
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that they did have a Pillars of Eternity banner up when they were actually talking about this game.
Yeah, because I actually thought it was going to be...
I didn't notice that until you said it.
Yes. My weird spot for some reason.
There will be 2 large cities with smaller cities, landmarks, and more. And there will be a strong focus on wild areas, rivers, mountains, and desolated areas. The game currently has a team of 100 people working on it.
That's a lot.
It has recently entered full production, although Microsoft are going to be chucking a lot of resources at it. This is the reason they bought Obsidian, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. They weren't buying them for Pillars of Eternity, that's for sure.
They should have bought them for New Vegas Part 2.
They clearly bought them for Grounded, that was it.
Grounded looks really nice.
It does.
Yeah. We're gonna go to that one too here in a second.
Excited to play it when my hands work next year.
There you go. But James, are you a RPG fan?
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I was really looking forward to. Actually, I've watched. This is one. I think it's possibly the one that I think has got the most potential. Bearing in mind we saw so little from it.
Yes.
Big fan of sort of their previous work, and we'll kind of get onto Outer Worlds stuff as well later, I guess. I like the fact that one of the selling points is real time weather. As if we're all just sort of walking around with our weather app and we're checking what's it doing in Eora. Oh, it's raining. Oh, look, it's actually raining. Oh, that's nice.
Well, your magic will interact with the weather.
Oh, we need an app companion. We seriously need an app companion with this. Oh, it's raining in the game? Yep, let's go in now.
Yep, so it is. Yep.
It's raining in the city of Apple.
Like real life. No, I really like these type of games and the production behind it all. I thought it worked by just doing enough to kind of create a certain amount of hype, and it keeps the people happy with what it hints at, and obviously their previous work as well. I mean, kudos to the bloke who fires the arrow about 20 to 30 miles both up and across. That takes some doing.
Really showing that weather system in effect.
Yeah, I mean that kind of Eora wind was certainly in his favour, wasn't it?
That's more intense than the wind in Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But as I say, no, I thought it was really nice. It was it kind of looked great, and as I say, I'm a big fan of these type of things as well as the studio. So this will be something that I'm looking forward to. It's just unfortunately, I think we already mentioned it. It's a couple of years away. And then some, I think. Yeah.
And only on Xbox, it'll be interesting so it won't suit with your PS5 mentality.
Well, they're going to have to go some, because obviously we'll go back to Bugsnax at some point as well. Hasn't got that either. But no, I think it'll be interesting to see how it develops, and obviously future gameplay release and trailers in the next year and a half or so as it kind of moves towards its final state.
I definitely say Xbox's biggest issue with this showcase is all the games that are coming out soon are them making up for not having any games on Xbox One.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
all of the,
Yeah.
and they put all of their studios to make games for Xbox One because they need to have games on Xbox One to make up for like 4 years disappointment. Sorry, 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
And then they've got we also need you to make make some next gen games as well.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, we forgot about this gen as well as next gen. Oh dear, better get on cracking with that now.
What have they been doing? They've had thumbs some places.
Well, to be fair, we'll take I'll give them credit where it's due. Phil Spencer has steadied this ship a lot more than what Don Matrick pretty much threw out.
Yeah, but then while Don Matrick was in charge, they were actually exclusives on the Xbox.
That's
like,
true.
At the start.
But they were TV shows.
Yeah, but I would say that the Xbox had, the first couple of years, had a pretty strong like lineup. Like Dead Rising 3 was exclusive.
Rise.
Was
Oh my god, Rise, really?
Oh, Rise was terrible.
But it was all right. It showed off.
Launch game.
It showed off the hardware. And we don't have anything that shows off the next gen hardware.
That's a fair point, actually.
That is,
like Master Chief Collection might have launched in a semi-broken state. Personally, I never had issues with it. So when people complain about it, I'm like, oh, well, that's a you problem. But Master Chief Collection was a fantastic like start to a generation. And as all right as Halo 5 is, like graphically, it was a showpiece for the Xbox One, and so far we don't have any of that for next gen. So
I mean, I think the fact that you said, Pete, that he had to come out to steady the ship, which he did, and he did well. The fact that it needs steadying is like, yeah, okay,
and that it still needs steadying.
It's still,
I agree.
Phil Spencer has been in this position for 4 years.
Yeah. I do have to agree with you. There is time for steadying the ship, and there is time for progression. And I worry about how far Microsoft have progressed. To be fair, they managed to get some good Japanese studios involved by getting, Square Enix putting games onto Game Pass in this generation. And
did you watch the pre-show?
Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, like being exclusive to Xbox to start. That's quite a cop, really.
Well, Yakuza 7's out on PS4 in Japan.
Yeah, but to the Western audience,
and it launches November 13th over here. They still haven't taken that down, by the way.
Yeah, I know they haven't.
For Xbox Series X, and it launches on PlayStation 5 afterwards, because I think PlayStation 5 launches a couple weeks after Series X. So it's only exclusive until Sony's console is there.
Yeah, it's true, but it's still something that they can say.
And it's in Game Pass, so
but it is still something where most Japanese studios would not even touch the Xbox a couple of years ago. So it's progress at least.
It's some progress, but I guess what I think, depending on how history reviews the last couple of months between the two consoles, I think the PS5 will shift more units. I don't think I don't think that's a wild stab in the dark, is it? But in terms of potentially the money behind it, I think a year, 18 months, 2 years on from now, I think the Xbox will be deemed as a rival success based purely on the people who will sign up for the Game Pass stuff.
Yeah. I think, and this is something that Xbox's head of marketing has said, is that you don't need to worry about Xbox because Microsoft have unlimited money. So,
true.
I mean, Microsoft.
That's very true.
Every time Microsoft have done phones, they failed, and they keep doing it. So I think Microsoft,
and the Zune.
Yeah, the Zune. They made 3 Zunes. What else have they done?
Windows 8.
Yeah, I mean, we're using Skype. Skype's been dead for years. It's still going.
I mean, they spent how much was it? It was like 4 billion. Yeah. They spent a lot on Skype.
The only purchase that they've actually made that has continued to do well since they bought it is Minecraft.
That's true.
Well, that's because they had to take it off a notch, the absolute scumbag.
Oh gosh, that's a whole other show.
As disgusting and vile as Notch is, I can't help but laugh at he used his money to buy a massive house with candy dispensers. I think he invited Ariana Grande, and she didn't turn up.
Of course.
But he complained about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's the biggest incel."
He is.
He's
He's
incel
an incel
prime.
with money. Yes, absolutely. Oh, incel prime. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, that's a dangerous thing. An incel with
Oh.
lots of money.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
But
a lot of them. He's in the Yu-Gi-Oh fan base.
So back to the games. Another one of the game that was a quote world premiere was As Dusk Falls. And Shaun, I'm going to ask you, 2D art style. Do you think there's a place for it in these next gen consoles?
I mean, judged on the current crop of games we're seeing, yeah, there's a place for anything, I suppose. But to be fair, when I looked at it, I thought that's not a game for me at all.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a bit of research actually before the show, and there is quite an interesting development behind it. And they don't use motion cap; they've been using green screen with actors, and then they digitally paint them. That's why those screens they put them together to make like a montage. And their former employees who have previously worked on Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. Which, I think it's got some potential, but again, it just, in my mind, it wasn't shown at all on that showcase. I had zero interest in it. I don't even know why I researched it, to be honest.
I'm going to again echo that thought. It did nothing for me, which is quite clear on the reaction audio that we released. And then finding out that they're headed by Caroline Marchal, who is a former lead game designer at Quantic Dream. I'm not the biggest fan of Quantic Dream games.
I'm not the biggest fan of the people. Like, she's obviously left Quantic Dreams, but who is still at Quantic Dreams.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Not good, are they?
No.
Not Dave. Like David Cage is bad. He's awful. But there's there's the other one whose name I forget. But the other one, big scumbag.
No, I'm not the biggest fan of them at all. Well, James, what are your thoughts on a 2D game showing up in this lineup for next gen games? Does it have a place?
I think it has a place in the sense that it's another sort of diverse option. The trailer looked nice. I think after a while that particular kind of stylistic approach grates on me a little bit, and it's maybe in the format of almost short stories and kind of interactive stuff you can do off, I don't know, the iPad or something, say. But as something that I would want to invest and spend time on through a game that develops, it's not really my cup of tea. It looked a bit like GTA loading screens. I think I've seen somewhere, which actually, once you think about that, you can't unsee that.
That's very true.
One of the positives for me is that it looked like one of the protagonists was a James Corden bloke who was held at gunpoint. We can only hope.
Oh God, I'd love to hold James Corden at gunpoint.
Imitation, follows real life is always good. Not condoning anyone does that. For the sake of disclaimers, my show, you're welcome. Yes, it will appeal to some people, and again, it was refreshing to see something different and various kind of narrative strands that will come from that. But you can't just stick a world premiere on it, as we said at the start.
Right.
Everyone to go, yay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't really do it for me personally.
Yeah.
At least just sent a picture of a slightly more bearded James Corden lookalike. If you watch the trailer a little bit more in the start of it, he certainly looks a bit more.
It's when he's in the car, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yes.
So there's a movie this star reminds me of, because you said this was all rotoscoped, right?
Yes. That's
right.
Yeah. So there's a movie called A Scanner Darkly.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves and
Keanu, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, some other people. And I thought this was going to be like that, but that movie moves. So this is just more like a motion comic.
And it's good.
I was going to say.
That's creeped me out. That serious Corden there.
That actually gives me 2 points, which is A Scanner Darkly used the rotoscope technique that was used in the original Two Towers, the Lord of the Rings animated sequel, which
I've never watched that.
Oh my gosh, I want to say 1977, I think. It's amazing for the time period that it was. The animation blows you away. And then I had a second point, and I can't remember it.
Is the second point that he also looks a bit like Zach
Galifianakis.
Galifianakis.
Galifianakis. Yeah, he does actually look like that. But what was the point? Oh, that was it. That it actually reminds me of something that I actually like, but I would not play on this next gen, which is Japanese novels, or Japanese visual novels. That's what they're called. I played a lot of horror versions of those on the PlayStation, but that feels like it's of its time, whereas...
If I want to read a book, I'll read a book.
Exactly. That's kind of where I'm going with this, which is... I'm not sure. It just seems a waste of resources.
Well, it just looks like an iPad game.
Yes.
I agree.
I don't need that in my life.
I think people can make the game that they want to make. I don't think it's a waste of resources at all.
It's a waste of resources, like programming James Corden into your game.
Yeah, that's their hill and they'll die on it.
If it was like, I mean, I think Microsoft's, again, it's like their messaging of this is like a next-gen showcase, but it was very obvious quite early in that they didn't make a next-gen showcase. They just made a games showcase for cool games that are coming to Game Pass. And I feel like if they called this the Xbox Game Pass showcase, people would be a lot more forgiving of every game.
I think you're absolutely right. Yes, because my kind of bias towards that is, or against it rather, is strictly because it was advertised as a next-gen showcase. And then I'm seeing this kind of 2D stills, back to back. And it's like,
they're in 4K.
Yeah.
That's because the Xbox One X could do 4K.
Maybe they're redrawing that frame 120 times a second. So.
Waste of resources. But
I think it looks neat.
It looks nice.
Actually, unfortunately, James has now ruined it for me because now all I see is GTA art. So.
Oh yeah, the old loading screens in between.
Yes, exactly. Which I used to love.
I still do.
But, yeah, exactly.
But we're not supposed to be getting loading screens next gen.
That's
Good
true.
point.
They did say that. Which.
And the good news is GTA 5's not going anywhere soon, is it?
So we're not going to get those load screens anymore.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. There'll be a load screen in between, like going offline to online. Of course there will.
Maybe the next gen features are they're adding more.
more
load screens. Awesome.
You like the art, right?
Let's see how many more times we can get.
For your machine.
Yeah, we'll see how many more times we can get sued by Lindsay Lohan.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Okay, it does kind of look like her, but it looks more like the Sports Illustrated model. They
admitted it was kind of based on her. It's called parody.
Are you talking about Lindsay tries to abduct homeless families from Mexico, Lohan?
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I'm not saying anything. I don't want to be done for libel.
I've seen the video. Have you not seen the video?
I don't want to be done for libel.
Okay.
Right. So Pete.
Lindsay allegedly tries.
Allegedly
tries to abduct homeless families from Mexico.
Oh,
I say families. It was only the one.
Is this another situation like Family Guy where they start a rumor about Rob Schneider?
No, this is a video. There's a video of it.
I know.
Oh gosh, but
I don't lie.
But Pete, so your personal favorite, the Gunk,
God,
of the whole series. I'm joking, of course, because Pete hates Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, it's one of the worst games in the series.
I like it.
It sucks.
So what do you think of the Gunk?
It's Mario Sunshine. It
Which
sucks.
Is a terrible name, by the way.
It is a terrible.
No, it's a great name.
Oh, I like the font. I like the font they use.
Yeah,
Give me the Gunk.
Oh.
That just sounds like a really disgusting porno, though. Give me the Gunk.
Ron Jeremy's the Gunk.
Okay, Okay,
That's the only porn name I know. I don't.
Give me a second. I'll come.
Because he made music.
They should have had a porn soundtrack over the top of this.
Oh gosh.
He made like 2 albums. It's all like funky 80s porn music.
Yes.
But apparently he's a horrible man. So.
Apparently so, yeah. To be fair, this game looked interesting. I digress about the sunshine element to it, because that was exactly what I said at the time. I was like, oh god, we're cleaning up something. It's like Sunshine, and now everyone's piggyback off of that. It does look fun though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I need to see more about it if I'm gonna be somewhat slightly interested.
Well, that's kind of.
I'm gonna need to see more Gunk.
Oh gosh,
God.
That's it. That should be the name of this episode. So
I'm naming it that now. I'm gonna put it down in the chat.
Shaun, was your interest piqued to play the Gunk after seeing it?
No.
Was it too gunky?
It looked a little bit like I had like Luigi's Mansion, because it was actually sucking out rather than.
Oh yeah.
Good.
So you're saying this game sucks rather than blows?
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the Gunk, you've either got to suck it or blow it.
Okay.
This one's
I'll call that on DVD if you want it.
Sorry, I'm more of a Blu-ray guy.
Who pays for porn?
I don't know. I don't watch DVDs.
I can send you links.
Yeah.
DVDs look gross.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But I do have a copy of Lilo and Stitch 2 on DVD, because I can't find a Blu-ray. If anyone has a Blu-ray, I'll take it.
Look, that's because nobody wants to see that film on Blu-ray.
Lilo and Stitch 2 is absolutely fantastic.
Is it one of those straight to DVD Disney movies, like
yes, but it's
Aladdin
the best
4,
one.
Jafar needs glasses.
There's only 3 Aladdin movies.
I know, that was the joke.
Oh my god.
Recently, I did watch 3 versions of The Jungle Book. I watched the animated one, then I watched the Disney remake, then I watched the Andy Serkis one.
Oh god.
I have nothing to do.
Okay. So
Moving
that
on.
would be I guess that's the overwhelming support for the Gunk. Watch Disney movies instead.
Life is just the same thing over and over again, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I will talk about one that's actually interesting. Well,
Kind of.
I'm gonna say it was interesting more to Pete, but I did like it. Which was Tetris Effect Connected.
Yes.
Yeah. We're all together in
Probably
this.
the best game in the entire showcase, if I'm honest.
Yes.
Well, that was going to be my question, Pete. Where would you rank it in the list of games?
10 out of 10, best game on the Xbox immediately, and it's not even been released. No, that's because apparently Tetris Effect was brilliant on the PS4, so I'm so glad it's coming over to the Xbox with some new content.
Why have you not played it?
Because it was mostly VR.
No.
I know
The
there's
entire
not. I know there's
game
not a
is non-VR.
Yeah, you can play it via VR, but I never realised at the time there wasn't a non-VR version, so I didn't play it. So now, but now
It's
it's
all
on
in the
Game
same
Pass,
version.
I don't care.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm not going to spend money when
Shut my trap.
Look, I'm not going to spend money on the PS4 version when it's coming to Game Pass, and I already spent £15 a month on that.
Fair enough.
Ooh, that's actually a very valid point that probably Sony should take into account.
And also,
Probably
this
has.
DLC actually comes out first rather than on the Sony platform, because it's not coming out until summer next year for that.
No, timed exclusive.
Hey!
Oh dear. James, were you otherwise affected by Tetris Effect?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
Yes.
Tim.
That happened. That was the thing. We can record that as an event that has occurred. But it's around about now, as we're sort of not midway, into the showcase. I want something sparkling. I want something that's got oomph to it. And if you to kind of go back to the Gunk, as all good people should. It was nice to kind of see a female lead again. and
That's a good
potentially
point.
what you
Good,
can
fair point.
you can play with your gunk possibly and use it to form bridges or whatever possibly, I think. But it certainly had a hint of Luigi's Mansion as already mentioned.
Yeah.
And this and Tetris, it was all a bit safe again.
Yes.
That that's not Tetris's fault that it was there in that running order, but it was fine. Okay, great. Am I comparing it to something I want to go and spend X? I've got X amount of money. Which one of the two consoles am I going to get? Again, something's going to have to happen. That's a lot more convincing than Tetris, which we know is going to be fun. But
I don't think we've talked about the fact that all of these games are also on PC.
Yeah.
This is true.
And also in Game Pass
Yeah.
on PC. So
Yes.
if you don't have to buy a console. Microsoft don't give a damn if you buy a console.
No, they just want you on the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Um,
They want you in there. They want you in Phil Spencer's pocket, and it is his pocket. It's a big pocket.
It's a very deep pocket.
We all are in there.
If you're only crawling in, you're right next to his balls.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna crawl out of that pocket.
Right
That
next
is what
to Phil
Gunky
Spencer's
popped.
gunk.
Oh no.
We're definitely not helping with the porn allegories
I
here.
found a mini car. I'm gonna hop in the mini car and drive away out of his pocket.
Spencer's in there. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Oh gosh. So we'll run through a couple of games pretty quickly. I do have some kind of sectioned off that we're going to talk about, but these I already know they're kind of generic. But okay, so Crossfire X. I think it looked beautiful, and I am an FPS person, but
that is made by Remedy Games.
Really?
Yes.
Remedy Entertainment. Yes, the campaign is made by Remedy, which is why it looks good. Do you have a preview of the multiplayer on Rapid Reviews?
I don't think we did.
I don't
remember.
On MS Power User, we were invited to preview it, and the multiplayer is all right.
Is it
all right?
Well,
it's all right. It's fine. It's like I don't think Counter-Strike's very good, but it's like a mix between COD and Counter-Strike.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Right.
In fact, there's a casual and a hardcore mode, and the casual is more like COD, the hardcore is more like Counter-Strike. But this is a game that's been around for so many years in China.
Yeah, of course. But that does
it's
sound
really,
interesting,
really weird that they're just like, okay, Remedy, you make a campaign for this game that's been out for many years.
Right.
Yeah.
And like they're on different engines as well. Like the engine that's powering the campaign.
Oh, really? It's different.
Yeah, I know.
It's Remedy's Northlight engine, which is a fantastic engine, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
supports ray tracing.
Of course it does.
Well, this is the engine that are used in Control.
Yep, same engine.
Excellent. Beautiful looking game.
Yeah. Control has ray tracing on current gen.
Which is very surprising.
Yes.
Well, but Doom has ray tracing. No, Doom doesn't have ray tracing. That was the whole point. It's beautiful
fool!
without. I know. I can't believe I said that. Oh gosh.
The Doom Slayer is unhappy.
I know. Oh man, I love Doom God. But yeah, Shaun, are you a FPS gamer? Did Crossfire register on your board of things?
Yeah, it did. I think it came near the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
I actually thought some of the games near the end were better than the ones at the start and the middle. But I watched it again the second time and thought I wasn't overly fussed. And then it's obviously interesting to hear that it's quite an old game now as well. So yeah, again, it's one of them. I'd probably play it, particularly if it was on Game Pass. I'd give it a go. But I'm not buying an Xbox for it, that's for sure.
Right.
That's okay. It'll be on PC.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, which we will be talking about that subject after this game's wrap up. But James, I'm going to go ahead and ask you about a particular game, Grounded, which reminds me of Bug Snacks for no reason, just because.
Because you are the Bug Snack.
Yes, in Grounded, you are the Bug Snacks.
Honey, I Shrunk the Bug Snacks.
Oh, God, that's all I think about. Yeah.
I was I've watched this a few. I've watched this a few times because
Not a surprise.
I thought this was actually quite an interesting take on some gameplay and a kind of concept. It's sort of, as mentioned, sort of Fortnite building-esque meets Rick Moranis in Honey, I Shrunk the Bugsnax, and yeah, it was good multiplayer kind of approach, and maybe it's kind of pitched at a new generation of sort of younger gamers. But I thought it was nice to see something done differently. I'm not saying it's sort of at the vanguard of gaming or anything mad like that, but I thought it was quite nice. It was quite a nice break from everything else we'd seen so far, really. And I'm sort of intrigued by it. Again, unfortunately, I really want some sort of proper narrative structure and gameplay to what I'm going to spend money on, and I want something that's going to take 20-30 hours worth of sort of single player stuff.
So anyone played it because it is out now?
Yeah, I was going to say it's out now.
I haven't.
It's on Games Preview. I haven't played it yet, but the idea of playing a game that has giant spiders in it, no thanks.
You can turn on arachnophobia mode,
which is weird. Which is just weird.
It turns them into blobs.
Yeah, with no legs.
I just want to say, I've seen pictures of the sleeping spiders. They are so adorable.
Yeah, no thanks.
They curl their little legs up, Pete.
Aww.
And that is my worst nightmare.
Oh god.
And they like snuggle into themselves.
Oh goodness.
And they dream about eating you.
Oh yeah, look, that trailer was enough for me to go, never playing this, even though I downloaded it.
Was there a spider in that trailer? See, that's
there was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I remember hearing Pete get very upset.
It was an arachnophobic's worst nightmare.
See, I have 0, so I don't even remember. I just remember that I didn't want to play it because I don't care for those kind of cooperative multiplayer games. I'm too much of a loner. I was
going to say, it requires you to talk to someone to actually play it.
I'd rather not talk to people if possible.
All right, podcast over then.
I meant in gaming.
I know.
But when they made their usual Obsidian level jokes, I was like, oh my gosh, I think you've got me on board. I might have to take a peek at it just to see, because I love Obsidian's humor. Which kind of brings us to, of course, the Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon. The DLC for the Outer Worlds. Only because when we started this call, Shaun had an Outer Worlds background, so I'm gonna ask him. So, what did you think of the DLC?
Well, the Outer Worlds, I just like the picture. I didn't realize it was the Outer Worlds. So,
I was so excited.
The DLC looks good. It's great to see it get supported. I am still disappointed with the Outer Worlds based on the Switch port, so I'd rather not speak for too long about it. But I thought, I've played it on PS4. It is I personally think it's a fantastic game, and it's great to see it get a bit more. So that's good.
Do you think this DLC is going to come to the Switch version?
I said in about a year's time.
Because Skyrim didn't get all of its DLC on PS3 because it ran so badly.
Yeah, I think you'd be lucky to even get a patch on the Switch, let alone the DLC. So.
Oh wow.
That's true. They need to increase that frame rate from 12 to 24.
It's very funny that developer was like, "Yeah, we can put any modern game on the Switch."
Yeah.
You can put it on there. Sure.
Doesn't mean it's gonna work.
I'd love to see them put Red Dead on it.
Oh my gosh. But they did The Witcher 3, didn't they?
Not the same studio.
Oh.
No, it was Saber Interactive that did it.
Right. Yeah.
And then
the developers of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary and Halo 2 Anniversary, I believe. Could be wrong.
Yes.
Which is
probably am.
Cool. So James, did you have any interest in the Outer Worlds DLC?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I really enjoyed playing the Outer Worlds. There'd been sort of a long enough break between replaying Vegas or the latest Fallout at the time to sort of go back into a similar, yet allegedly different world. I think
very similar.
Allegedly.
But if it works for you, then obviously you're a fan again, to be honest. And I think it's really difficult to write comedies, and in anything, and particularly gameplay. And I think it was nice to have that kind of sort of silly approach to the writing to it, and also the quite interesting storylines that developed in the non-DLC stuff. So I was quite intrigued by it. I will give it a go just because I like the first one, and for me it was nice to kind of see something a little bit more kind of grown up, despite the humour sort of presented now during the showcase. So I was looking forward to it, and we could certainly give it a go.
Ah, excellent. Lewis, were you first and foremost a fan of the Outer Worlds?
I played a few hours, then I had to stop playing.
I was going to say, was that because of medical or because of choice? So
a little bit of both, to be honest. I was like, if I'm going to spend my last few days of playing video games for a long time, I'm not going to play this.
Well, I have to agree that I am a big fan of, obviously, just Obsidian in general. But if it had to be my last game, no, I probably wouldn't have chosen.
I mean, personally, I haven't enjoyed a major RPG like this, like, all the way through since, like, Skyrim. So
I
don't know why. I can never stay focused in them anymore. I didn't beat The Witcher 3, but that was actually because I'd lent a good friend's copy, played 30 hours, they wanted it back, then I bought the Game of the Year edition, and save files didn't transfer.
No! No!
I was still making my way back through that.
Well, I will confess that as a very, very strong, huge fan of New Vegas, which I still will replay even now.
How many copies of New Vegas do you bench press?
240.
How strong is your fan?
Well, we can get into that. But I have the oh god, how do I phrase this? I have the kind of gameplay ticks or whatever memorized. Like I know how to stack my specials and stuff like that. So I just used my same exact knowledge on New Vegas on the Outer Worlds, and it absolutely worked 100%. And I was playing it at the same time as another person was playing it, another friend of mine, and I aced right through it, had all good endings. Nobody was bad, nobody was sad, and they couldn't believe it. And I said, well, it's literally New Vegas in outer space. So
I'm too evil to play these. So what I do is I play these games like a maniac, but I feel bad about doing it.
Well, feeling bad about it doesn't get you the proper results. You have to do it.
But when Skyrim and like I love Morrowind and like Oblivion, Skyrim, and playing those games, back then I was as evil as I wanted to be. Now I want to be evil and I can't. It makes me feel bad.
Well, that is a perfect
stupid
segue.
Empathy.
That is a beautiful, perfect segue into Fable, because I was going to say 4, but it's not called that, is it? It's just Fable.
Playground Games is Fable.
Yeah, Playground Games.
Not an MMO, by the way. People keep saying
God.
It's
yeah. Okay, so Pete, there's no Molyneux. So
good.
So what are your hopes for Fable? You think it's going to live up to the past expectations? Are we finally going to get an awesome Fable game?
No.
Oh.
We
wanted to believe.
We got a CG trailer for a game that's probably 3 years away. They've been working on it for about a year, apparently. And
this is longer than a year.
I said at least
3 years. Yeah.
Okay, they've probably worked on it a lot longer, but they haven't shown enough for me to be convinced. And I'm not even a big Fable fan anyway. The first game's good. The second game's a massive letdown, and the third game is not talked about. The ending for 2 sucked. Come on.
Yeah.
The last boss fight was a joke.
Concede that. I'll concede that.
I love Fable, but I love it in like the way that like parents love an ugly child, you know?
It tries so hard.
Well, an ugly child that's bad at school. So,
oh gosh.
With disdain and
they never look particularly good, and they don't do anything particularly well, but they have a charm to them.
Yeah, I agree. There is a charm to them. I do
so you love them anyway.
You can eat chicks.
Yeah, the karma system is good to it. I will agree with that. So if they manage to emulate a decent karma system in this new game, then fine. It might be enjoyable, but it's not my kind of game. And I think at this point, people have forgotten that Fable was mostly not that great anyway.
Yeah, and also Fable is like, this is going to be a big game, right? This is going to be a AAA game.
Yeah.
Fable is not a big game.
No, it never has been.
Incredibly small scale.
I was going to say it was bragged on to be a big game.
Yeah, but that's Molyneux, though.
Really...
Molyneux is an idiot.
You know, Peter Molyneux bragged about him having a big dick, and he doesn't.
He always promises more than
Oh, James,
we're pretty close.
Oh my God.
It's like Fable's growing on a shower, apparently.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Sorry, Peter. I don't know what your junk looks like.
I'm not saying.
Oh my gosh.
Not you, Peter Molyneux.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Thank God. I have to share a name with that scumbag. All right.
Yeah, that's why I keep calling him Molyneux instead of Peter Molyneux. But yeah. So Shaun, let's bring you into the discussion.
Peter Molyneux.
I don't think I want to be a part of it, if I'm honest.
So Fable, are you a fan of the Fable franchise?
Yeah, I enjoyed them when they first came out. I was just checking then. Fable 3 came out in 2010, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
But I suppose if you ask me, like,
Wow.
Fable was one of the, we talked about the AAA games, the exclusives, but like you said, that game is at least 3 years away.
Yes.
And it obviously they have been working on it for a while, but it felt a bit like an afterthought to just pop it in at the end because ultimately, by the looks of things, they didn't have much else to go on. So let's give them a teaser trailer of a little frog and, tell them it's coming. But
Yeah. Do you think this was
bullfrog?
as a result?
Do you get it?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Do you reckon this was because of the fact that most of this game had leaked, or they had some stuff that was just... It was a really crap secret, basically. So I reckon they probably chucked this in here as a way of appeasing those fans and going, yeah, look, it's real.
Yeah. Because even before, well, I think it was in the predictions. I think it was you, Pete. Somebody predicted it, but there's a lot of predictions that Fable was going to be revealed, and I was
I did, and I think Shaun did as well.
Yeah, I did. I chucked it in there just because there's nothing else there.
Yeah. Fable I have a kind of love-hate relationship with. I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the original artwork, like the sketch artwork that went along with it. But yeah, Molyneux always oversells. So hopefully Playground Games can restore anything about it. Plus they did have a Master Chief armor.
They did. They also had an incredible section on Forza Horizon 4 with you driving Warthog, which was amazing.
So that kind of we'll run through very, very quickly. Well, no, there is one that I did want to talk about. I wanted to get you guys' opinion on Phantasy Star Online, which Pete called way early in the reveal trailer, which I was like, what? Until I heard the music. Then I was like, oh, all right, of course it is. So are we getting that, Pete?
Day one. If it comes out here.
Do you play it now? Because you can play it.
I don't want to play it now. It's a laggy mess.
But you can do it. Weirdly, it was fine when it was like beta, and then when it came out, it didn't run. It was like worse. It was way worse.
If I had a PC that was at least half decent to play on, then yes, I probably would. But at the moment,
I don't.
On
your Xbox.
How?
You change your console settings to
American. Oh, that's too much effort.
Yes.
Come on.
No, it's not.
Come on.
I'm so excited to play Phantasy Star Online 2. I can't be bothered to change my Xbox. So that America, you literally just have to do it for a minute, start downloading it, and then switch your Xbox back over.
You forget
to 5 minutes.
You forget to take into account that I am a gamer, so therefore I am lazy by default.
Oh goodness.
Well, I get it now.
Rise up, Gamer Nation.
Rising up is way too much effort, apparently.
Look, I have to get up off of my sofa, alright?
No, you
That's
don't.
enough effort as is.
Okay.
You
There
can,
is-
you can put everything by your sofa. You'd never have to move.
That's how I do. Okay, there are actually 3 more games I want to hit very quickly before we wrap up. Okay, so Lewis, I'll start with you. So the Medium, it's got some weird dual reality stuff. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
The game looks great, but something that I actually talked about on my own podcast is the fact that this is the dual reality thing is patented.
Oh,
What?
really?
Yeah. So running 2 worlds at the same time, they patented this.
Oh my god.
Gameplay idea.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. They said that it was only possible on Xbox One Series X, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the Bloober team, this like small Polish developer, they patented that. And I say, if you're going to patent a gameplay idea, you can F off. You don't have to bleep that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But
you can go and shaft yourself, is what I think.
Yeah, but
I mean, the game does look great.
I mean, Namco did this for many, many years with like mini games or loading screen games, like didn't they?
But still nobody does it.
Yeah, because they couldn't for a very long time. Yeah,
that's very true. Yeah, I thought it was interesting when we first saw what looks very much like Chernobyl. If you've ever seen some of the derelict photos or whatever, I absolutely thought it was Metro.
Yeah, we both did.
Wolves, though.
Do what? Say that again?
No 2-headed wolves as a result.
Yeah, no. Although what was it? Oh, State of Decay was another one that was like, what?
Oh, that was
good old
CG
zombie
trailer.
days.
I heard you two getting extremely excited, like, oh, it looks so good.
It looks interesting.
But you're like, oh, look, the blood on the snow, it looks fantastic.
And then I remembered it was a CG trailer, and I was like, oh, yeah, whoops.
Also, State of Decay will never look like that.
No. Never.
State of Decay looks like Garbo.
Yes. But James, did you were you intrigued by the Medium? Did that strange mechanic do anything?
Yeah, I kind of was. Actually, I like the sort of atmospheric approach for it. Sort of had a sort of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Hard Rain, even sort
they've got Akira Yamaoka on board, so Silent Hill.
That'll do it. So I kind of immediately sort of hark back to that, which I think is quite a nice buy-in for me, to be honest. Didn't know about the attempt for the dual world painting thing. That's a genius idea. But again, a kind of a nice approach to different gameplay, I think, and it was what I thought the showcase should be about. It's just seeing different concepts, different ideas, and different approaches of it, and it was nice to see something just varied there, I think. So it was one of the few that kind of excited me, inverted commas, to kind of discuss and go through, really. So yeah, it's a rare yes from me.
Ah, very good. Shaun, what about how your thoughts on the dual reality?
Well, I echo everything James said, to be fair. I think I had actually written down it's what all the others should have been.
Ooh, nice.
It had something about it a bit different. I thought the idea was fantastic. I've played, I think they did The Observer, if I'm not mistaken.
Blaze of Fear.
Yeah, that threw me off. Yes.
Blair Witch.
Oh, I didn't know it was Blair Witch as well. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought that was a highlight, and I don't know whether that's a positive to them or a negative to the showcase, but I'd be interested in that one for sure.
I'd say it's a little from column A and a little column B, actually.
Well, they revealed the Medium before this. The Medium was at the other Xbox thing.
Yeah.
Was it really? Was it called the Medium?
Yeah.
Huh. I just blinked it out.
The same one as Scorn. I was upset we didn't see Scorn here.
No, Scorn was not shown. But Psychonauts 2 was. Now, what I really want to talk about, and Pete, we'll start with you, is why, if Psychonauts is a very, very anticipated game, why do you think that they stuck it in the middle and with Jack Black in the middle instead of earlier?
Not exclusive.
Oh,
That's a possible. Actually, I didn't really think about that. I don't know. I just think there's. I don't know. I think it's just something like with Jack Black. It's like, okay, we'll get a name in here. We've worked with him before, like with Brutal Legend.
Yeah,
and that
which I thought they
were exciting. That was exciting me. It was like Brutal Legend wasn't very good, so let's try and redeem it. But I don't know. I have no interest in this game. I never played the original Psychonauts. I might go back and play it, but Tim Schafer's a good.
It's free on Xbox right now.
I'm gonna go and do it then. So that might be a good way of getting me into this. But this wasn't enough for me.
Well, Lewis, same question to you. Were you
Psychonauts is brilliant. I love Psychonauts. Psychonauts 2 looks amazing. It looks like the LSD trip I've always wanted to take.
It really does. Really does.
But I was also extremely disappointed that they weren't announcing Brutal Legend 2.
I know. You can hear that in our reaction. We both were like, "This has got to be brutal. Why would you have Jack Black wear?" And then I think the guy he was working with, the audio engineer, had a Brutal Legend T-shirt on. I was like, "Oh, definitely." And then it was Psychonauts. So
I got Double Fine blue balls.
Do you think that's something that they're working on in the background as well?
Maybe
if that's Jack Black's big adventure.
Ooh.
Possibly.
Too.
He's really killing it on TikTok and on YouTube. I don't know if y'all watch his
Jablinski
game streams. Oh.
I don't.
No, I'll be honest. He actually annoys me.
Really?
I love his. I love him in everything else, but YouTube and like his social media, it drives me crazy.
His movies are great.
There's a TikTok where he dances. He's playing Red Dead 2, and he has a cowboy hat on and no shirt and just shorts and cowboy boots, and he does these ballet.
I don't know if I want to see this.
I think we've come to the crux of the
man.
Yeah, we've come to the crux of the issue here that Kiley has a fascination with overweight 50-year-old men with huge beards.
I think I'm
on my way.
Oh gosh, I do. I have a very strong fondness for Jack Black that I cannot explain at all. Probably all those Tenacious D shows in my teenagehood. But
I told you, he's nothing without Kyle Gass.
Kyle's good. He's good.
I like Kyle Gass.
He's good.
He is aged. He has aged infinitely more than Jack Black.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he looks like Santa Claus, and
he looks like a crab out of its shell.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that imagery. Wonderful. So, Sean.
Here we go again. I don't know want to be a part of this one.
You bring us back to our sanity center. Psychonauts 2, and its crazy, fabulous LSD trip. Is it anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I don't know why, but it did something for me again. I quite liked it. That and Ratchet and Clank on the Sony one were two.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm not even. I like Ratchet and Clank, but it's not a system seller for me. But those two games, I thought. Whereas Ratchet and Clank showcased what the PS5 could be about, Psychonauts 2 was just a reminder for me where I'm at with the whole next gen, and that there's nothing in that's next gen to me, but it was one of the most interesting games there. So yeah, I liked it. Gets a plus from me.
That's very good. Yeah. So James, how about that LSD trip?
Well, it wasn't really the greatest game in the world. It was more like just a tribute.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh,
I'm so glad someone did that.
That's why I've been quiet for 5 minutes.
You were waiting.
amazing.
Were you just there like, keep the joke in my head, keep the joke in my head, don't leave?
Please, someone
I
don't
thought
say it before.
Kylie was about to go somewhere else with that and go to a different game, and I was about to be livid.
Wow, such discipline to just sit there on that. Oh my gosh.
You should probably timestamp that because that's something else. I'm just saying.
I will.
Have to
I
promote,
actually will.
promote myself here.
Like you said, as the teaser for this episode.
There you go.
It's another podcast where your listeners will wonder why I'm on there. I've not played the first one. I'm aware of it. I was quite intrigued by it actually. Similar to what you said before, Jack Black is just perfect for these things. I think it worked really well, and it was nice to see something totally different. And again, something sort of refreshing and a bit of fun, lots of intrigue and mystery, and taking something that we're all aware of, but pushing it into slightly different boundaries as well. So
yeah,
I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go. But I thought it was good, and it did sort of echo a similar approach to Ratchet and Clank from the previous showcase as well, PS5, and that did it for me as well. So yeah, kind of looking forward to this one, and I think it will be the right amount of fun with the right amount of sort of having to engage your brain and gameplay and all of that. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Excellent. I definitely am mostly for the soundtrack, but also the colors, which look great. But I did want to go over one last game before we just kind of did a very fast run through. Tell me why, which is the game
I can't.
title.
I'm sorry.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, flashbacks. So when this first showed up, I immediately was like, "Oh, this is Life is Strange 3. It's got to be." It wasn't. Yep.
But this was announced last year at E3, at Microsoft's E3.
Oh, it was, yeah.
I missed that. I didn't remember that at all. I am not the biggest fan because, again, these are more like visual novels. I did like Life is Strange, the original, because I think it came out at a time where it was very different and it stood out. This feels kind of, to me, it feels just very same. We're just doing the same thing. It didn't feel advanced.
This is actually a very curious case of narrative storytelling because Don't have released the story already.
Right. Okay.
Because the game, one of the main characters, I'm not sure which one, is a trans character, and the reason that they've released like a lot of the spoilery plot details early is because they want the trans community to know how they're handling certain aspects of this.
Yeah.
Okay,
but this is a game that's been a Microsoft Don't collaboration. They've also brought in like experts from the trans community as like consultants to help with representation. So
so I can absolutely appreciate that, and I have to say that knowing that now, it's still not a game for me, but I see that it's not supposed to be a game for me, if that makes sense. So I'm glad it's there, and I hope that it does speak to the community that it's for. But for me, I'm gonna say it's.
Well, I wouldn't say a game like touching on these stories is like. I think this is actually a really big problem with a lot of gamers, is that they believe that these stories that touch on like marginalized groups are made for marginalized groups, where I believe they're more made to inform people outside of these groups about the issues surrounding them.
Right, yeah, because I do sometimes feel like it's almost like a DLC in a way, that it's kind of locked off because I'm not in those communities, and I don't want to encroach upon their, I don't want to, it's almost sacred, hallowed ground, I guess. But I guess in a way, what you're saying is actually quite correct. It probably is for everyone so that you may see that kind of perspective, maybe.
It's like we don't get a lot of media that touches on like this group of people in particular, and like The Last of Us 2, haven't played it, but apparently they have a trans character. I'm not sure how they handle that.
It's a minor character. It's not. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, that's a strange one. No pun intended.
But because a lot of people thought that Abby was trans to start with when all the leaks came out, and she's not.
Oh no, she's just blah.
Yeah.
She ripped, man.
Okay, I've talked about the science of that, and that is just not. Me.
But there is if you want to play a game that is very focused on the trans community, and I believe if you don't know much about like trans people and what they go through, there is a game called oh god, it's got a long title, but it's called The Missing JJ Maxfield and the Island of Mystery or something.
What?
But just type in the Missing. It's a sweary game. He's in a lot of hot crap
Mess
right
at the
now
moment,
because so this is his game where he worked with trans consultants and created a very beautiful story that I believe everyone should have a playthrough.
Sure.
If you don't like the gameplay, it's like 2 hours. But it's got a very nice story in it. But then he crapped it up with Deadly Premonition 2 because he decided that he's just gonna make it himself.
No, he consulted with trans community in that game during the process. There's a lot of dissonance going on.
He said afterwards. He said on Twitter that this one, like, he's bringing in trans consultants now.
I thought he brought him in before the fact, but I might be wrong.
So Deadly Premonition. What Laura Kate Dale has a really good.
Laura Kate. We're not going into her. She's an idiot.
Well, I mean, as a person, I don't know her, but not a huge fan. But this video that she made on Spurry's games in particular is very informative and very good. And also, she's been arguing with Spurry on this topic because Spurry's representation in Deadly Premonition 2 is very bad and very hurtful. Yeah, and it's exactly the same as it was in Deadly Premonition 1, which he also didn't work with consultants on.
Okay, well, I can take that into account, but the fact of the matter is that she lied about slurs in a Persona 5 song, and which clearly didn't work. So I can't take her at face value anymore. She generally likes to make articles or videos that drum up controversy when most of the time there's nothing in it.
Yeah, that one was her mishearing something, which is don't report on it. Look up some official lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it. Really, that was it.
But maybe it was the slow news day because she worked at Kotaku back then.
We're not the biggest fan of Kotaku here, but I'm actually fascinated to hear that, and I'm actually fascinated to hear that they consulted people for Tell Me Why. I didn't even know that was an aspect.
No, they do this quite a lot.
To touch on it here.
Yeah.
They didn't really show much of it.
No, they didn't.
I believe that I firmly believe that, like, if you're revealing a game, bringing attention to the fact that like your character is trans takes away from the fact that that's like they're just the person they want to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
So
yes.
So it's like if you treat them as a normal person, which they are.
Normalizing just normal. Yes, I love that.
It's like you're not going to get the headlines of this game has a trans character because you don't want to bring attention.
Yeah, exactly.
They only exist in your game because they're trans. That's not the point.
And the fact is that Life is Strange has got some very controversial issues as is anyway, across its stories, but they were very well accepted and very well reviewed. It's just a thing that Don't Nod do very well.
Was I didn't play Life is Strange 2, but I read some stuff about it. I'm not sure if it's true, but one of the characters is gay.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
But
it doesn't
get talked about.
No.
I was going to say that it's kind of just a thing that is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel that that the hateful audience that a lot of people are a lot more accepting of some types of LGBT people than others.
Yes, yeah. I agree with that. Absolutely.
And gay men have a lot of stigma around them by hateful people. So
yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
So do
Probably why we didn't hear much about that game, to be fair.
But
I'm pretty sure that Captain Spirit had someone who's like an Aspie, I believe, as well.
Probably the lead character.
Yeah.
Boy, little boy.
I believe he was an Aspie.
Oh my god, that game came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
I played the
Yeah,
first
it did.
episode. I completely forgot about it.
It was only a short game. It was only supposed to be
That's
like a prequel to Life is Strange 2.
Yeah. I actually really liked that first episode.
It was really good.
It was a little okay. Well, it was a little too strong emotions for me as an Aspie.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because the dad's so kind of like he's mean to the kid, but he's also hurting. It's like too many emotions. I can't process them. So I just go back to shooting things, which is what I understand better.
Personally, I believe that for these narrative games, Don't Nod are the best of them.
I think so.
They are a lot better than Telltale ever was.
Yes,
yes.
Which is why they went down.
Well, they went down for a lot of reasons that we don't have time to get into.
No.
But I believe outside of The Wolf Among Us, Telltale never really did anything good.
Oh, Tales from the Borderlands was good.
Yeah, it was alright.
I don't like it. But I've stated that before.
Batman sucked.
Batman did suck. Batman sucked the gut.
Nothing was worse than Jurassic Park. That one was just downright terrible.
No, Back to the Future was also bad.
I liked Back to the
Get out.
But anyway,
bye, Kylie.
Back to the Xbox showcase. But that actually kind of leads to a kind of segue. So, Shaun, I noticed in the PlayStation showcase, because I can't remember all the different names. What was it? PlayStation Forward? I don't know.
It was just a showcase, I believe.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with showcase. They had lots of female protagonists and kind of non-binary, that type of thing.
There's a trans character in Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yes.
There might have been. Yes, there is. Yes,
people think so because the
Graves.
female Lombax, they're not supposed to have tails, right?
Yes, exactly.
This one does.
I actually forgot about that.
But it's a new universe, so who knows?
It's true. So what do you think? Xbox didn't seem to have as much, only maybe because they didn't have as many games, I don't know, as much as a variety of marginalized people. Do you think that will be a kind of, will that hurt them in the long run?
I don't think so, no. I mean, obviously we just touched on it then about, making it known sort of detracts from what's trying to be achieved in the first place. So I also hard to say just because we didn't see much gameplay.
I mean, looking at the games, it's like Halo Infinite, the white guy protagonist, Forza Motorsport.
Maybe.
How do we know he's a white guy?
Because we've seen his face.
I know.
Forza Motorsport, you can choose. Everwild looks to be you can choose, but I believe it was predominantly female in the trailer. State of Decay 3, you can choose. Avowed, you can choose. Grounded, you can choose. Outworlds, you can choose. Fable, you'll be able to choose.
Yep.
Hellblade.
Female.
Female also touches on mental illness.
Yeah.
Unless it doesn't, I didn't play the end of. I didn't play to the end of Hellblade 1. So
That's
I'm not
apparently
sure
what the theme of the game is.
Yeah. The Medium, female protagonist. Tell me why. There's a trans protagonist, and there's a male and a female character. Psychonauts 2, guy. Stalker 2, I believe you can change. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure about the rest. So, I mean, Tetris Effect, you are the protagonist.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
But yeah, a lot of these games, and I believe it's more of an Xbox thing, is that they want you to choose what
it sounds like
who
that
you are.
way.
It's a lot more of they make a lot more games where you identify as who you want to be. So
well, that kind of reforms this question then.
Sorry.
That's fine. No, that I like to be better informed. So, Shaun, what do you think? The option to choose as opposed to pushing forward marginalized characters as the leads. What do you think is going to pull ahead as the successor between those two?
I mean, I suppose it depends on the choices, right? If you're only getting if your choice is male or female, then
right.
you know, you haven't
It's
been
very
as
binary.
as you should have been. So yeah, hopefully, if the choices are sufficient, then I think that would be the best way to do it. The problem is, we've touched on it a few times with the gaming community and people's acceptance of things, and that I think it takes a bit of time. So anything that games can be doing to, promote it, I think that's a positive.
People were very upset that Gears 5, but you played as Kate instead of JD Phoenix.
Well, that I've actually seen it happen in a couple of games, which, if I bring them up, that will give us another hour. So I'm going to not do it in this episode, but we will do it in a future episode.
What's the female name equivalent for John?
Jane.
Joanne?
Jane 117.
There you go.
Halo Infinite.
I don't like the name Jane. That doesn't fit.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's Jane Doe, John Doe.
Kylie. No, it should be Kylie. That should be what it is.
Oh, Pete, but you haven't read the law, right? So you don't know that John's last name is actually Butcher.
Moving on.
No, I was taking the piss. It's not right.
Okay, well, it was terrible anyway.
I've been watching The Boys. It's the only name I had.
Oh dear. Now I've lost. Let me get back on track where I was at. Yes. So, James, were you pleased with the variety of protagonists, or did you think it compared to Sony's lineup?
What, purely protagonists, or games overview? Just protagonists.
Well, yeah.
I think just to carry on the conversation we've had for the last 5 minutes, then I think it's nice that both companies are recognizing it, and I don't think either of them particularly, I'm about to say force things down people's throats, but I'm not sure we'll go with this one. They didn't make it so obvious that it detracted from the gameplay itself, and I think that's the key to this, is that it will, if this is a sign of things to kind of come in the industry, then this can only be refreshing and a good step and a positive step and a long overdue step moving forward, by having a variety of choice and differentiation and what have you. And I think the most sensible level-headed people will realize that it is the gameplay itself that is, and the narrative surrounding that's the most important thing. It's irrelevant to a certain degree as to who you are. Obviously, the flip side to that is if everything is, if your hero protagonist is always white male, then that's how it's been for too long, and that's not a good place to be. But as I say, moving forward, if it's not detracting from why you buy the game, then this is a good step.
I mean, I don't see how changing like the race or gender of protagonist can take away from the game you're playing. It's
I don't think it can, unless they have a very particular thing in the story that they want to do to highlight that. That's the only reason.
It's like
why
we played as gruff, upset white man for so long.
Yeah.
Anything is refreshing.
Yeah. Well, I will speak as a female gamer who's been a female gamer for probably ever. Yeah, for a long time. I was very, very excited when Lara Croft, and we're talking the original Tomb Raider, not the terrible Crystal Dynamics version. Lara Croft came on the scene. I don't like the Crystal Dynamics. She's too wimpy.
She was supposed to give Sam a smooch in the first one. They took it out.
That's for those male those male gamers who want to see that.
So hard.
Oh, really? Okay.
There was so much tension between the two of them.
Yes. But when Saints Row 3 came out, and I got to pick, not just be female, well, and this was true of New Vegas as well, but I got to pick my character as female, but also rearrange her body type to kind of fit more of mine as a reflection, which seems like a silly thing in one way, but in another way, that's probably why Saints Row 3 is one of my favorite games. This is my favorite of the Saints Row series, when everyone's like, no, it should be Saints Row 2. And it's like, no, because Saints Row 3 let me explore that.
Yeah,
female.
I always like making my characters look like me, so I give them I give them an 8-pack, and then.
I mean, I live my life how I do in Saints Row 3, so I walk around with giant 8-foot dildos as weapons.
Gosh, I love that game. Oh my gosh, I kid you not. I think I probably said this on the show, and this is not an Xbox showcase thing, but
well, you were expecting Saints Row 5 to turn out, weren't you?
I was. That was in my.
That was a hope. That was a hope.
I wanted it to, because I have never been so excited in a game, and that's saying something. But when Burt Reynolds turned up in Saints Row 3, I literally jumped straight up off the couch.
God, you really are American, aren't you?
As American as apple pie.
I've never seen someone go, but when Burt Reynolds turned up, that really
Burt Reynolds.
It sold it for me. I leapt straight off that.
Looks
couch.
like the age range of what Kylie's into is going way up.
That's weird.
She has
she has a weird fascination with Burt Reynolds.
Is he even alive?
No, he passed away a couple of years, like last year, I think, or the year before. Very recent. In terms of dying.
Kylie was sad, clearly.
He was remastered this year in Saints Row 3 Remastered. So.
See, that's how you live on. Anyway, they did Rowdy Piper in 4.
Yeah, he fought Keith David again.
Yeah. So,
nice.
What was I gonna say? Let's get back on track. Wow, you did it. You did it, Lewis. You threw me off.
I've succeeded.
You did. It took to the end. So I'm gonna just go around the round table, and get everyone's highlights. And I'll start with Shaun. What was your highlight of the entire showcase?
Oh,
I know. Let me add to that. What was the highlight, and what would you like to see happen?
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Highlight was, man, this is how bad I thought it was. I'm gonna go with the highlight being the medium.
Nice.
Right. Okay.
And what I'd like to see more of is gameplay.
Ooh, good.
I
good.
agree.
Short, sweet, to the point. Absolutely, 100% have to agree with that.
It's a launch game.
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
So.
I'm going to end up playing it. I already know I am.
I'm sure I will.
I don't want to, but I have an obsession with those photos of derelict places, and it's just, like, intriguing me. But, so, Pete, next...
Are you a witch?
You'll never know. No.
Clearly.
No, but Pete, same question to you. What was your highlight, and what would you like to see happen?
Okay, my first answer is a joke answer. The highlight was when it ended.
Oh, ooh.
Well, hey!
Bird.
No. We haven't mentioned it as much, but two particular games, one of them that wasn't mentioned much, Everwild. I thought that looked interesting, despite the fact that Rare have no idea what they're doing with it.
Yeah, it's really weird to announce a game and then come out after you've announced the game going, oh yeah, we still don't know what it is.
We have these amazing visuals, but
right.
If we know what it actually is.
That was not in engine.
I know, and that's the disappointing part for me.
It. Yeah.
But I love the aesthetic of the game, and I like Rare as a studio, so I'm quite excited by that. But it has to be Tetris for me, which is probably the highlight for me. In terms of what else I would like to see, I'm with Shaun here. It has to be more gameplay shown. There wasn't enough, and this isn't a very good showcase for the next generation. However, they did say games showcase, so they didn't specifically mention it was Series X only going into this. So I think a lot of people should have tempered their expectations to show, yes, we are going to see Xbox One games here as well.
Right. Yeah, I do hope that they do show a little more gameplay and a little more next gen. So James, same question, highlight and what you would like to see happen.
I thought one of the highlights was also the medium and also Avowed. I thought both of them sort of appealed to me. Another one, I think, I guess we talk about this in a sec as well, but it's almost tricky to compare like for like with PS to what we saw here. And I think that's because one of the things I really enjoyed was, in terms of value for money, what you get from the Game Pass already and what you'll eventually go on to get. I think that's a really clever marketing strategy. I think that's very generous of them. Obviously, they're going to make a shed load out of it as well. But
Well,
actually,
they've announced they're not making any profit on Game Pass right now.
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
For
They will.
24 hours and then, exactly.
Yeah.
I've shown you my games. Please subscribe.
Yeah, but this is the thing though, is they were selling codes of it for like $1. So of course they're not going to turn a profit on it when they're selling codes for $1 for a year.
They're playing the long game.
I'm sure they'll make money from the people who forget to cancel their subscriptions. Right?
Yeah, in 2022.
There's some of us that did that had subscriptions in America and forgot to cancel them when they moved to the UK.
I heard all about that.
Yeah, they don't transfer over. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And now you're telling me about changing the region of my console.
Listen, it's just to download the thing. You only have to start the download and then you can switch over.
Oh my god.
I've done it. It's on my
Lewis, that is a thing that we like to call fishing, and I have baited you so badly into that reaction.
I'm so mad.
He's a masturbator.
Uh-oh.
James,
back to Pete and Knobs again.
James, what would you like to see happen with Xbox?
Cocks. I just felt that was the right place to say that.
We need to see more cocks in Xbox games.
Yep.
Look, Cyberpunk 27 is
There is an Xbox higher-up called Matt Booty.
Yeah, we did. We saw that in the show as well.
I was so happy when I saw that.
Your reaction,
cock and Matt Booty's booty.
Oh my gosh.
It was your reaction, Kylie. It was like, Matt Booty.
Matt Booty. That's like when I first moved here and there was a dude, a health minister named Ed Balls?
Yeah.
National Ed Balls Day.
That's awesome. All we got is bush and y'all got Ed Balls.
Yeah, and you got far too many bushes as well.
No. There was terrible political party. They should all be set on fire. But there was a UKIP higher up, and he had a really, really stupid name. I can't remember what it was. Oh. Was it Dickhead?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Please.
I think his name might have been Dickhead.
Oh, gosh.
No, his name is Dick Brain.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dear. So... yeah, Lewis, dare I ask, what was the highlight for you, and what would you like to see happen?
Phil Spencer's cock.
Oh gosh. So much editing, Pete.
Phil Spencer is the handsome Squidward of Microsoft. But in all seriousness, I thought Forza Motorsport looked very pretty, and I liked seeing how pretty it was. And I also thought the medium looked fantastic, and I thought Halo Infinite looked appealing. So, I think it looked good gameplay-wise and looked something else graphically.
Yes.
That's what I liked. I'll be honest, I liked all of it. It just needed a lot more gameplay. I liked all of the announcements. I just wanted to see more of them.
It needed more of what was promised as opposed to more of what was delivered.
Well, they did say there would be Halo Infinite gameplay.
Yeah,
they didn't say there would be any other gameplay.
Yeah, just remember that event they had in May where everyone complained there was no gameplay, and they said, "Oh, don't worry, next event you'll have gameplay."
There will be more gameplay, is what they said.
8 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Technically, they did not lie.
No, they didn't.
Sure,
they just bent the truth on how much there was going to be.
Microsoft are the masters of spin, aren't they?
Yeah,
they
course.
are.
We should
Very
expect
much.
it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so.
Kylie, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Someone's listened to the previous one.
2 questions out of you and Pete, because I've had this all on my mind all day.
All right.
Which one of you would be Big Cook, and which one of you would be Little Cook? And then after you've answered that, you can tell me what your favorite parts of it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So my favorite parts. Honestly, my favorite part, no lie, was Master Chief's hand armor.
And
Coming out of the stuff, and then it said become on it, and that was cool. And because I was like, yeah, I will be doing that. And why am I talking? Okay, you guys are distracting me. We're usually much more professional and together.
Well, that's because so many people
will be
have
doing
mentioned...
lots of editing.
No, I won't be. I've literally just put in that I'm not cock blocking.
Poor Shaun.
Sorry, Shaun.
Not at all. I've enjoyed it. It's been good.
We're not normally like this. Well, we are, but we cut it out. So,
whoops.
Yeah, you'll have to listen to B-roll.
yep. But no, here's what I hope. I hope very similarly. Mostly, I'm just going to echo what you guys basically said, which is we need more gameplay. I want to see more advanced graphics because I'm not ready to shell out, £500 or £400 or whatever for upscaled X-Bone graphics.
It's a pretty nice echo chamber in here.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It is. Some would say it circle jerk, but
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that we're all come from different perspectives. You got a couple of PlayStation fans, a Nintendo fan, and an Xbox fan, clearly. And Kylie.
Worked for a Microsoft website.
Yeah.
And
I was like, ugh, that show could be better.
Exactly. So you're not like a diehard like Xbox fanboy where you're like, oh,
I don't know.
I do is solid
on top of
gold.
my Xbox.
Nice. That's probably the best thing for it.
Yeah, so what? Okay, let's quit. Wow, I have to get this back on track. Let's get back on the rails.
We've heard about Big Cook or Little Cook, yeah?
Oh gosh, why did you bring that up?
Because Shaun really wants to know the answer.
I want to know the answer. Who's Big Cook? Who's Little Cook?
I'm afraid this reference is lost on me.
You don't know what Big Cook and Little Cook is?
It's a TV series.
One's a normal-sized cook. The other is very small.
Okay.
It's like a weird Master Chief Cortana thing.
Okay.
It's like he's like the size of a thimble.
Okay, fine. Well, in the grand scheme of things, Kylie is taller than me, so I have to be Little Cook. Otherwise, she beats the shit out of me.
I'm taller than everyone. I am taller than all of you, I'm sure.
Pete, you telling me you fly away on a wooden spoon to find recipes?
Too right. That's just happens in my tricked out, drugged up brain.
That is actually what, if we wanted to be honest, that is what he does every week. He does all the hard work, and I just show up, sometimes drunk, and then announce everything.
Sometimes drunk. I'd say at least 50% of the time.
Maybe more.
God, I wish I were drunk.
I thought you were.
Just wait for the Christmas episodes. They're always the best ones because we're both out of our faces.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's our secret episodes. Behind the scenes, we are completely off our heads. Yeah. But what I want to ask, I'll wrap up with this question. Pete, what do you think that Xbox needs to do or is doing to compete with Sony?
I don't think they are. I think they've decided to take this in a completely different direction. And Game Pass is their platform, not Xbox.
Yeah, and most importantly, Microsoft have said numerous times they don't believe in generations anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They do not give a single damn about what you do with your money.
Exactly. They want you on the ecosystem regardless. Game Pass is the best way of doing that. Game Pass Ultimate is an incredible deal. They don't really need to do too much more than that. They do need to showcase some next-gen games, though. I
don't even know if they care that much about you signing up for Game Pass. I think Microsoft had just decided to let the Xbox people do what they want.
Yeah, it would seem that way.
They don't want the brand to fail.
No, but they're
Xbox is a brand, not
a product.
I agree, yeah. And they're looking to try and get
right.
Game Pass and xCloud onto as many platforms as possible. So I think that fits with the messaging really in this show. This is what's coming. And this is where you're going to be able to play them.
Xbox will be a great box. PlayStation will also be a great box. It's
Yes.
just that you know what you're getting with PlayStation. I doubt they'll change anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to agree. Let's see. I was gonna look at just for randomness, stock prices.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to. In US, but they're giving me two different. Just
You know we're
weird.
live now, right?
Yeah, this is
So-
great. This is great listening for everyone.
Their stock name is MSFT, I believe.
Yes, it is, and it is right now currently being shared at $205 US. And
I'm sure
Sony-
that's good.
that's very good, actually. I won't bore y'all with it, but Sony, which PlayStation is in the Sony family, SNE.
Oh, Christ, I was worried there for a second. They weren't.
They closed yesterday at $77.96. So that kind of tells you.
Well, yeah, but then
it kinda
Microsoft is a lot
reinforces
more than just Xbox.
Well,
and
it
Sony
is,
is a lot
but
more than
that's-
just PlayStation.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's kind of what I'm saying is I'm kind of lending credence to what you said, which is Microsoft is kind of like let Xbox do its thing.
Microsoft
Because-
is a $1 trillion company. They
Exactly.
they probably forgot they own Xbox.
This is probably very true.
You could tell.
Yeah. So, Shaun,
They're probably looking at their books, going, "Where is all this money going? I don't care."
Oh crap! We have an Xbox division.
I thought that was
It's
all
probably
for
like
Xbox.
they keep thinking it's an extra cafeteria when they walk through
Exactly.
it. They're like, "Oh, this cafeteria smells bad."
It's like Mountain Dew and Cheetos.
Smells like gamers in here. Gross.
Smells like stale farts.
Oh gosh. I've been to enough. dead
Yeah, I think
rooms.
we all have.
But Shaun,
This-
question to you. I'm going to get to the end of this.
Not if Lewis
what
has
do
any chance to do with it.
what do you think that Xbox needs to do to compete with Sony, or are they doing it?
I think all they got to do is sort out the smell in that cafeteria. They'll be right.
It's taken 2 hours, but we finally got to Shaun it by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yep. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think Pete covered it. To be fair, I do think they're taking two different directions, and it's going to work for both of them, I believe.
Yeah. I am going to echo that. James, what about you? Wait, did I already ask you that? Because you said no. But I don't remember if that was the answer to this question. So I'm going to re-ask it. What does Xbox need to... I was literally about to say, what does the Xbox 360 need to do?
Oh god.
What does Xbox need to do? To compete with Sony, and are they doing it?
Again, just what everyone said. They need to. We didn't see enough, or what we did see didn't look good enough. I think for the next generation and the big hoo-ha behind that. And I think it's because they are going to take two different paths. And I kind of said earlier, I think the PS5 will sell more, but I think longer term, Xbox might be more profitable. Really, I think this was supposed to be a games showcase.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got my notes from the previous podcast with the PS where we had Spider-Man, Gran Turismo, Ratchet and Clank, Project Athena, Stray, Returnal, Dinosaur High. We can
coming out.
No, that's yeah.
Yeah.
How have you not
PlayStation
mentioned Bug Snacks yet?
I'm on it. Don't worry, I'm on it. Don't worry, this is going to be my denouement. Solar Ash, Hitman, Deathloop, Resident Evil, and of course the one everyone wanted, which was Bug Snacks. You just sort of go comparison to their sort of big hitters, their medium hitters, or the sleeper hits, whatever you want to call it. And I don't really think they're comparable at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
I thought PlayStation looked a little bit more sort of polished and sort of had a little bit more to offer for a lot more people. And for someone Xbox, you had 3 weeks behind them, I think, by the time.
It was 3 weeks. Yeah.
I think if they cared enough, I think they could have polished it a bit more and given us a few more sort of caveats and disclaimers to it. But for sitting back and reviewing 10, 20, whatever world premieres, I don't feel that they've justified the hype behind that. And it, as you kind of said 5 minutes ago, it's almost as if they sort of found Xbox under the sofa again, polished it off, and went, all right, well, better do something with this then, really, because I think their strategy will be in sort of mass market stuff and through the Game Pass approach, really. And if that pays off, which I'm sure it will, then fair play to them.
Absolutely.
They did change the Game Pass logo yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yes, they did.
I need to look into
It's
that.
green now.
Oh, match with everything. But Lewis, I'm going to ask you the same exact question.
Yeah.
But for you, I'm going to alter it a bit and say...
Special question?
Yeah, just for you. Do you think they were playing it safe by not revealing hardware, by only focusing on games, as opposed to Sony?
You talk about Xbox Series S?
Yes.
Yeah?
Sure.
That thing that we all know is real?
Yeah, that's totally real.
Yep.
Oh, gosh.
Otherwise, wouldn't be in Windows, would it?
Right, there you go.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the hype towards that PlayStation conference was finally getting to see the console for the first time, and they did have us for a moment where we thought that they actually weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I feel would have actually tanked that entire thing.
Yeah.
If they didn't show that. But I feel like not showing Xbox Series S or whatever it gets called was a very smart move.
All right. Okay.
I don't think they might show it this month. There have been rumors that they're going to show it this month for a very long time.
Right.
But if I was them, I'd wait until they find out what Sony's price is on the PS5 before they even reveal Series S.
I agree.
That's actually exactly.
Because Microsoft they're always willing to lose money.
Yes.
So I think they're going to lose money on the Xbox Series X to make it either the same price or cheaper than PS5. And then they're going to make sure that the Series S is $150 to $200 cheaper than Series X.
They're
going to seriously
100%.
undercut that digital version of the PS5 in massive ways.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the PS5 is also massive.
Oh, yeah.
Colossal. It's the size of your living room. So if they have a small form factor, Xbox Series S is the size and form factor of an Xbox One S. So, because making it a small cube is actually more expensive to manufacture, so they won't be doing that.
The rumor that I've heard is that apparently they're carrying around the Xbox Series S in a Xbox One S casing to keep them disguised.
Yeah,
that's what I heard as well.
And weirdly, even though the Xbox Series X is small, they're hiding it in massive PC cases so that people won't think to look in there.
Brilliant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, that is going to wrap it up. Unless anyone has anything.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, that's right.
I have one question.
Sure.
We did this on the PlayStation 1, so what's everyone's idea of the console price and potential release date?
$400, November 13th, 2020.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna pull a Wheel of Fortune and say $3.99, November 14th.
It's November 13th.
Because Yakuza gave it away already.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
It's also my birthday. So
Hey, that would be a nice birthday present.
Mine's November the 14th.
Hey,
Nice.
Hey.
Let's all not buy one of these.
Well, if I knew you better, I'd buy you one just to wind you up for your birthday, but you might like that.
You can buy me one on my birthday.
Do it. Let's see what happens.
You don't have to know me at all.
Could you even play one, Lewis?
No. Probably not.
But it's there as good decorative art in your phone.
Well, our reviewer at MS Parry's Alex, he doesn't care about consoles, so he's gonna review it and then send it over to me.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
You should get yourself an adaptive controller and see how they work.
I've been playing the Yu-Gi-Oh video game with a fight stick in my feet. So there we go.
Amazing.
Yep.
Nice.
Never, James. I am not timestamping that. It might even get cut.
It'll be it's recorded for all of history.
We have a Faustian pact that I'm allowed to do a review for Bugsnax.
Oh yes, actually yes.
That's my Christmas come early.
I think you should.
Yeah, I absolutely do. So Shaun, do you have any predictions, prize predictions, and date predictions?
I mean, you got to go for the 13th of November, haven't we? But 449, I think.
Oh, right.
Very nice.
And James, what about you?
13th, just purely because I think they've told us. And I'm gonna say 425.
Nice. Right. Pete, did you throw us a prediction out there?
I haven't, but I'm gonna go with the 12th.
Oh, good one.
12th of November.
Yeah.
Throw us off.
Yeah, I'll go with the 12th, and I'll also go with 350.
Good price. Less than an Xbox One.
Yeah.
They don't have a Super Connect.
Yeah, they don't have. Well, they don't have.
Okay.
Well, it'll be less than the Xbox One X. It's just been discontinued as well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna err on the side of caution. That's not the word I mean, but with everyone being out of work and everything. Yeah. I think
they did say that they want to make it affordable because of the pandemic. And Sony went out and said, well, technically, you're getting value. You're paying.
Yeah,
but they also said that households only get one at the moment.
It's 2, isn't it?
I thought it was only 1. They said
the pre-orders on other websites are saying 2.
Ooh, well, they're going to get Sony's wishes then.
I guess so. I don't know why you'd buy 2 on launch.
To sell?
Well, one of them to sell, or one. Well, there are YouTubers like Spawnwave who do buy multiple consoles because they'll have one for themselves and one to take apart.
One to lick the insides off.
Oh, damn straight.
Yep. You know, he doesn't show that, he cuts it.
It's my sex box.
I know you're Sony. But oh gosh, I recently learned. Okay, this is I'm totally going off on my own tangent now, and then we're really gonna wrap up, guys. I only recently learned, because I'm not a Nintendo fangirl. I do enjoy Nintendo, but I only recently learned that they coated the little Nintendo cartridge games with something that's gross so that you wouldn't lick it.
Oh, I lick it every time.
Yeah, it's great. It tastes amazing.
This is the issue. If you told me if you purposefully make something so that I can't do something, I'm gonna do it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I keep licking them. Because I think they're gonna change.
No.
And I don't know why, but every time I'm like, does it taste the same? Lick it. Oh, gross. Yeah, it does.
Can I quickly interject with something quite important?
You can.
Yes, of course.
If we're not smart enough to kind of edit the bit where you're saying, I lick it every time, Gunk, and Mr. Molyneux's cock, to put together quite an opening, sorry about having to cut that out as well, then I think we're really sort of dealing with some sort of negligence of duty here, to be honest with you.
Are you calling me out, James?
I'll fix it for you. Peter Molyneux's cock, I lick it all the time.
Love the Gunk.
Great.
You love Molyneux's Gunk.
Yeah, solid 5 out of 5.
A teaser trailer. Oh, gosh.
Could be better. I wish it showed more gameplay.
Sorry, X-rated Xbox edition. X-dition. X-dition?
I wonder how it controls.
Anyway, thank you guys.
Look at his analog stick.
Let Kiley finish. Come on, this has gone too far now.
Can't believe he's got built-in vibration.
Okay, that was a good one to
finish at the end of that as well. Then you know.
Can't have that Kiley finish just sitting there.
Yep.
Okay. We thank all of you for stopping by and giving us a listen. We have very much enjoyed our guest today, as we always do. Again, we were joined by Shaun, and I have a list.
I was going to say, do you want to let the guests explain where they can find themselves, or where people can find them?
That's what I forgot to say. I was going to let everyone say where we can find them on the internet. So, Shaun, where can they find you?
At Reviews by Hughes on Twitter.
Yes. Highly, highly recommended.
Thank you.
Should check out Ninty Fresh magazine as well.
Thanks. I wasn't going to do a shameless plug, so thanks for doing it for me.
This is your time.
This is your time to shamelessly plug yourself.
This is Rapid Reviews time.
Okay, fair enough.
We're subletting it to you. But yes, and then James, where can they find you?
You can find me, inverted commas, teaching over at Queen Mary's College in Basingstoke, and also on Twitter, which is at Fraser Esports.
Woohoo!
And when he's not there, he's in Molyneux's pocket.
And playing Bug Snacks.
Certain type of pocket.
He's definitely stacking something in that pocket.
So, Lewis, what about you?
Oh, well, since this is my last time on the podcast.
You said that, not me.
You can find me on Twitter at no, you can't. You can you can find me on Twitter at Lewis_D_White because some cock has got the version with no underscores in it. You can find me on mspoweruse.com/gaming. Don't care about the other sections, only the gaming. That's where I am. And we do our own podcast called the MS Power User Games Cast every 2 weeks on a Friday or Saturday, depending on how lazy I am.
And you should listen to it after you listen to our episodes, of course.
Yeah, well, so 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 47 seconds after the podcast starts, we're allowed to swear due to YouTube regulations.
Brilliant.
So we don't.
Nice.
I don't censor anything.
I like that, but we.
I say the F's and the S's and sometimes the C's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you say the HE double hockey sticks?
It takes a lot of effort for me to figure out what you're saying.
I know what she's saying because I've heard that reference before.
You can timestamp this. Sometimes we say.
Hey! I was wondering how long it would take to get one.
There's a goose honk there.
I love a goose honk.
Yes, Pete, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, and can they find you?
I don't know where Carmen Sandiego is. She was been lost for years.
In a pocket.
All in his pocket.
No.
Yes.
You can find me on Twitter at PeteBeckett1, which is the number 1, and you can also find me on this podcast.
Yes, every week. Yes, and
Yourself.
Want to find me? I don't know that you would, but I'm constantly tweeting about autism for no reason at all.
And about how you're trimming your bush.
Yes, you can find
And not about finishing off.
I don't even know what my Twitter handle is now. Oh, at Kiley Lythtreet.
It's not like you've done this 41 times before.
Yes. God, this is really.
Yes.
We made it to the end. We're all survivors, and we made it to the end. Thank you, dear listeners, for sticking in there with us. It's been a wonderful adventure and full of laughs and lots more laughs. And thank you for joining us. Rapid Reviews Radio is a supplement to the Rapid Reviews website, which you can find at www.rapidreviewsuk.com. And also on Twitter at Rapid Reviews UK.
And on Facebook.
I don't have my list in front of me.
Not
so
today.
I'm doing that off the noggin, and that is never good. But
further proving that you are Ron Burgundy, so not Ron Jeremy, Jesus Christ.
Uh-oh, spaghettios.
My mustache is not as luxurious as Ron Jeremy's.
No, I'm not even going to that one. Okay. Absolutely not.
We're gonna make it, guys. Just hang in there.
I feel like one of those two-headed Chernobyl wolves.
Okay. So we made it through. Thank you for joining us. We do not advertise, so anytime you can give us a like, a share, a retweet, or any reviews, we will always appreciate it. And as always, we will see you again next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.